Yeah, so what we're going to do is just look over some of the games that you sent me already. What we do normally is if we were working together for like a longer time, like I'd want to do this first session, I'd want to be asking you guys a lot of questions. How do you approach this? What are you thinking about in this situation? All that kind of thing. I still like to do a lot of that because I don't want to just be talking to you the whole time and just dumping a huge like load of information about just the way that I see the game, because there's no right way. It's just the way that I see it compared to the way that you see it. It's all going to be a bit different. So we'll try and find like a balance of what you guys are thinking in these games and not. I know you mentioned some stuff about draft as well. For me, it'd be better to start off not doing that. We can start with just some gameplay and then we'll look at draft stuff maybe some other time, if that's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
So let me get the games. I don't know if I've got them in the right order. These are just the order that they came out of. Did I pick the right TR? Hey, there you go. Okay, so let's get this up, and I'll do it. I like doing it just from your guys' point of view rather than. This is the right team, yeah. this is you.
Yeah.
Good. Let me get everyone in the order. So, big thing when we're first coming into the early game. The first thing to always be thinking about, to always be talking about as a group, is who gets prio and who gets prio where. Now, for me, this is a really, people might disagree with this, but for me, I think the only thing that matters is if you get prio. Like when you're talking about learning things individually or you're talking about improving your laning, then of course, sure, if Chovy gets prio in this matchup, but you don't, then there's something to learn from him. But when we're actually in a game that we're trying to win, when we're in a competitive game, the only thing that actually matters is do you get prio in these matchups? So, let's just do it now together. So, top lane, do you get prio or does he get prio in this matchup?
Top isn't here.
Oh, isn't here. Okay, sorry. Can anyone speak for him if you remember this game, if this stuff you guys talk about?
He said it was a flip.
Okay.
He says he normally gets prio in this matchup because he plays so much Ambessa and generally we don't meet the most confident Renekton players. So even though it's a losing matchup, he normally feels confident in it, but technically he should not be getting it. So against a better person, he probably won't.
Okay, well let's leave it like that for now, and then we'll see what happens. We can maybe change it into a neutral one if things start looking too depressing. What about in mid lane? So just early on, do you get push or not?
I get it's an even wave state early on.
Okay.
So it's kind of depending,
Yeah.
It's even early on, but if he really wants to, I think he should get it, if that makes sense.
Okay. Then in bot lane.
Yeah, we get prio.
Okay. Is that?
We can force. That's the support.
It's definitely playable, but I don't necessarily think we get prio, considering that Sivir also clears the wave as efficiently as Jinx, and we don't really want to step up in the few early levels because that level 3 is probably the one where we had the highest chance of getting cooked.
Yeah. So
we can get prio.
Yeah. Well, this is exactly what I was saying, right? Like, maybe if you have 4 robots play this matchup, then the Jinx Lulu always gets prio, but you have to put yourself in a dangerous situation. So if that's not something that you guys want to do, then you should look at this lane as a lane that we don't get pushed early on. So again, it doesn't matter what like the best players do or even what the kind of quote unquote correct thing is to do. Once we're actually in a competitive game, the only thing that matters is what we're going to do. Because if we plan as if we're going to have bot prio, but we can't get it because we don't want to risk stepping up to be hooked, then it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is actually who is pushing in and who gets the move. And then in jungle, who clears faster?
That's Kindred.
Okay, so I put like a minus in the jungle. And then this is like we maybe get push, maybe not. I don't know.
Okay.
I'll put it as both. It depends how we play it. So when you're looking at this kind of map state, I haven't seen this game by the way. So if this all goes to shit in 5 minutes, then we'll deal with it when that happens. But when you look at this map state, what are the things that you guys are thinking? Like, what do you want to come out of this early game? Like, what are we trying to achieve? What do we got to be kind of worried about?
I guess, in my opinion, what we should be looking at early game is to make sure our bot lane doesn't fall behind, and that, like, if we want to make plays, we do it around mid lane That's
Okay.
kind of my idea at least.
Okay.
Because I feel like you're always happy if Jinx, Lulu are scaling, but you don't necessarily need to make a play unless enemy does something that like
Yeah.
makes it possible, you know. But I think like mid lane is very killable, and top lane can also be punishable in the right scenarios.
Yeah. Of course, so like for the early clear, yeah, I just asked about who was clearing faster, but also the 2v2 is something important to think about. So good to point out. Like your mid 2v2 is not just who wins mid, it's who wins the 2v2. Okay. The one thing that always is worth considering is if you are in a situation where like this happens and you get pushed in on both sides, it's always going to be difficult to have like agency on the early game. Do you understand what I mean if I'm talking about like agency on the game? Like you dictating something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with the push, we have the ability to like push in the lane, move and do something. And you can decide, okay, let's say you're in a situation where we're pushing everywhere and we have a faster clearing jungler, then we can decide what happens. Like, okay, we're going to invade this side. There's nothing they can do about it because we'll just crash this wave and invade at the right time. Or we just find out wherever they're starting and we can invade any side. So the same is kind of true in the reverse. If you're in these kind of situations, I do think like the higher up you go, it's worth trying to avoid situations where you don't have a clear lane of prio. So if you are going to draft like this, I think it is worth... It makes sense if you guys can force it in the 2v2 and you have to play up on the wave and say like, well, we're just going to dodge the hooks. That's how we're going to get the prio. But I think, to be honest, for most teams, even at the ERL level, even in the NLC, you can get away with not having prio because it puts so much onus on the opponent to get a decent lead. And also nowadays with the waves not synced, they are synced. So you can't like clear mid and then dive on a side as easily as you used to be able to. Okay, I like this. Obviously, as soon as they're invading, we're going on the other side to make sure. But if you've got a slow clearing jungler and you aren't going to get prio, let's say, you have to just be aware that we're going to lose some stuff. Like the chance of us being able to like fight for both scuttle crabs in this game probably is pretty low unless we're getting pushing bot and pushing them away from this crab with our push. Because otherwise, Renekton can come quicker, mid lane will come the same, and if they are pushing in bot, then, you know, on either side, their bot lane can move quicker. So these are all the kind of things that we can think about and kind of plan as the lanes happen. It's just about push, the individual trades, all those kind of things. Those are on you guys individually. But always coming into every game, who gets prio, what's the early jungle path, and where do we want level 1 vision? I like the kind of checklist. If you literally want to write it down, you can have a checklist of going through those one by one. So
yeah, mid lane did not go the way it should this game though, because
Yeah.
I hinted.
yeah, well, this is the other thing, right? This is always going to happen. Like, unfortunately, I can talk like that as if it's a static game, but unfortunately, everyone has to actually play. So things are going to happen both ways. So sometimes you're going to get prio when you didn't think you would. Sometimes you're going to lose prio when we thought we'd have it. I think the important thing in the early stages of the game, like obviously we're not looking at you guys, your comms here, but just to be updating about who's getting pushed and what we think they're doing with it. Because the quicker we can update, the better. So if we have push, everyone should know, okay, like we are pushing bot, we're crashing their third wave, or we're crashing the fourth wave, or we're crashing 2 and bouncing, all those kind of things. Everyone can know from the very beginning. And as soon as we see what they're doing, we can... I won't get too caught up in the details. I don't think that's actually too useful. So we cleared their ward. We knew they had the early vision. We knew from our ward where they were pathing. With this push in, this bottom crab is going to be tough, right? Okay.
Wait,
Okay,
are you
okay.
asking, by the way, or are you just saying?
No. Sorry, I was just saying. I'm watching and thinking at the same time. Okay, I'm nervous. I'm nervous right now with you walking towards this top skull.
Out of curiosity here, Toby, when you sent it for this top cap, would it have been quicker for you to just reset here and get the home guards and move top? Like, because
I'm
you're
not
all the way down with
sure.
golems. Especially, well, considering that when this pathing, it seems like Kindred might have time to honestly contest. When you haven't gotten a back yet, are you even stronger?
Yeah, it's fine for me here, cause see a TP, like send a TP, but like I fucked my what is called how I walked up there, but I don't think it's worth to reset to get up there.
Okay.
I don't think I can do the same, because then I'm coming from our base and not like I can not open it on mid or where I'm going, so he can just be on it when I'm reset.
Fair enough.
So my nervousness, we haven't seen where Nautilus is as well, is that when they have push here and they have push mid and they have a pushing wave in top, whether you're stronger 1v1 is less important. So again, we'll see what happens. But I think they should take this, and I think what should probably happen is they get 2 scuttles based on the fact that they've got a faster clearing jungler, and based on the fact that they've got prio with the way that the game's actually played. They've got prio in all 3 lanes, and
But
that's fine, right?
But
Like, yeah.
sure. But Johnny, you're thinking that Nautilus might have like here moved all the way with Kindred up for this.
I don't know who. Okay,
Go on,
I was going to say I don't know if
Yeah,
he'll
I was
be
just
here
gonna
on
say, 'cause
time.
I
Is
remember
what
he
I was
did,
about
yeah.
to say. I was about to say I don't know if he'll be here on time, but he can move through mid. But to be honest, I don't even think they need him, because Renekton can come. I mean, I guess you do have the advantage on mid lane. But the main thing that I want to get across, like, with looking at this, and again, this is not something. It probably would have been easier to like watch it and plan and stuff like that, but they ended up getting away from me a little bit. What I'm saying here is that if you're in this situation where the enemy has push in multiple different lanes and both teams play it perfectly, you will lose stuff, and that's fine. So you talked about Jinx and Lulu like scaling up, all those kind of things. Obviously, in the massively later stages of the game, having an enchanter is unbelievably strong in team fights. You're going to be at a stage where, like, if they have push, it's okay to just say we drop some stuff. So my gut reaction here is to just say, okay, fine, you take the reset while she takes the grubs, and you'll be on the next clear with the base, and you get a little bit further ahead on the second parting through the jungle, because we didn't have push in mid. If we're crashing a wave in mid instead, if this wave is here, because you said you messed up the way that the lane was, but if this wave is here, then I think we can play for this. If we played for this bot push, then we can stop her on this crab instead. But if they're getting push in both side lanes and they're crashing a wave in mid and their jungler is faster, then they just get something. And what I want to really like make as clear as possible is that like it's okay to just drop a little thing in this like first cycle if the enemy has push everywhere. So the Nautilus roam is like Renekton like full sent it for the roam, and Nautilus also full sent it for the roam. So there is almost certainly worlds where you get away with this as well. But just the thing for me for you guys to consider for next time, or think about for next time, is if they've got push everywhere, like it's okay to just drop some stuff. Like we're gonna in the first cycle we'll have some things to drop. In the next cycle of the game, like jungle clear and the waves, that's what I mean when I say cycle, like the two together, then we can start to play. And just in that first one, it's about conceding a little bit. And that's the other thing about Vi, you know, like Jankos, for example, really doesn't like to play Vi. And this is why, is because in like the first cycle of the game, you have to just kind of chill out and let the enemy take stuff, which is not something that he particularly likes to do. But that's just one of the things that will happen based on like the champs you've got and the champs that they've got. So you'd be just a bit further ahead on the next sequence of plays because you just take the reset here. Or at the beginning of the game, you say like, look, guys, if we the only way to lose nothing in the jungle is to have push in one of the side lanes. And if we can't have push here, then we have to have push here. And if we
ask
can't...
a question?
Yeah, go for it.
Now that we in level 1 here had vision on the Kindred, on the red buff, and we know that she's gonna be where she's gonna be starting, would there be an angle where we just like instead of starting from top side pathing spot, just split the pathing and start from bot side instead, considering that they won't have to contest crab then?
Yeah, they can contest with the Renekton push on this side anyway, right? But
I'm wondering,
yeah. If you mismatch,
would that be worth it? But would that be worth in the long run, or considering we might want to play Drakes and stuff like that, would that fuck the pathing too much?
That's one for you to answer. I think it's good.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Like, I would say it's fine. Like we can do that, but we didn't see where she started. Only when she came to red.
Yeah.
Oh,
By
we
this
didn't see
point,
it
it's too
before?
late, right?
Okay.
Like when we see her.
Yeah.
I guess fair.
I think if you want to simplify the early game as much as possible and put it kind of like on rails. You have one of the side lanes. You always make sure you get push like as much as you can in the draft, and you just always path that way. And it's like, it's mega simple. There will be times where you break that rule, but to be honest, I would always suggest do the rule first, and then you'll work out the times where like, okay, it's actually better to do something else. We can do the pathing a little bit differently, because the other thing is that if Kindred pass towards bot side and you guys are losing push, are you in any danger of getting ganked or getting pressured? Especially when we were talking about just earlier that your goal for this early game is to kind of get Jinx and Lulu to start powering up into the game. So in this case, like you say, we saw her a bit too late, but that's just always something that I would consider. Like, have prio, path towards your prio always makes the early game much more simple, obviously with Fearless and just with the way that both teams are trying to draft, right? So that's not necessarily always going to be the case. And if you find yourself in a case where enemy has prio on both sides, then we might lose something, and either a laner has to give something up and come and help the jungler, or the jungler has to give something up and just falls a little bit behind, or takes like the tempo for the next sequence.
Yeah, that's the one we're used to.
I mean,
it
it kind of depends on the meta. There are definitely times when you should be playing more for your jungler and finding ways to make it so that they don't lose anything. And just as an example, what I mean by a way that the jungler doesn't lose something, yes, sometimes that will mean a laner moves even though you're going to give up CS, but that, to be honest, is probably too much of a thing to give up. What I mean is we try and path away from the Kindred, and even though when Kindred gets the bot lane, we're going to lose something on Jinx Lulu probably, because again, you know, you might get away with it, but if the enemy team has push and they can then decide what happens with the wave, which means that if they time it for when Kindred gets there, either there's a wave crashing and we're in danger of being dove, although I would say it's probably a fairly hard dive to execute, but or they bounce it so that you're in a dangerous situation when Kindred gets there, and you just have to wait while Vi is clearing this, resetting, and then coming to bot. And that's the thing that we're giving up for not having control. But either way, the thing, you lose something because of the fact that you don't have the prize.
Yeah, I think Wei also recognized that we should probably make plays on him this game. Like, he knew what we were thinking, I think. Because when he buys Mercs here, he just like, he's basically untouchable in the game. Like, we can never kill him with our 2v2.
Yeah.
And I can never get push either, because if we up to trade, I lose, and if he just like blows his load on the wave, he gets push. So there's no way for me to play it, because usually you can outskill it with like by just playing it better and trying to trade on him, but when he has the mercs, it's just impossible.
Yeah. Okay.
So now he's always gonna have prio mid.
He's always gonna get push.
Yeah.
Okay. So that then again is gonna make things a little bit more difficult. So when you're in situations where like both side lanes are losing, or at least losing push, especially if you're mid lanes as well, like this is where I'm instantly thinking about like any opportunities to swap and start mismatching and all those kind of things can be really, really good. And those are the swap games where one team like swaps a lot. It looks like they put loads of effort in and the gold remains like basically the same. And some people ask like, well, why are you doing all these swaps? Is because, okay, it wouldn't have been the same, but now it is, because we're just mismatching all the time, and it just becomes about pushing a wave and then going somewhere else, and pushing a wave and going somewhere else. For here,
I mean, I think we don't swap a lot because our top only plays like carry gems, you know, like quote-unquote carry. Like Ambessa, Jace, and then I don't want to put him in like a shit situation, even though I'm in a bad situation. I'm AD, by the way.
This okay, so that is helpful actually. if ever I'm confused, do just say. But this also, like, he shouldn't be in a particularly good situation 1v1, right? Like, it's a playable matchup, but it's hard for Ambessa. And yet, if you just if this game is 0-0, and okay, they've got a small lead already, but if this lead stays the same and you just add like, I don't know, 10-20 minutes, it's still good for Ambessa, right? Well, I guess it depends on exactly the item timers, but I think you get my point.
Yeah, I mean, we pick Ambessa into running, by the way. Like, he really likes this matchup.
Okay. Bold, I like it. Okay.
I actually didn't we first pick Ambessa this game though?
Yeah, we always first pick Ambessa.
Yeah, exactly. But we also picked it in Renek, so
fair.
Yeah.
Because it's just so easy to play with.
Yeah.
just way less conditional than like his Jace and stuff like that.
I love this, by the way. Like, okay, we've got a wave. The thing that I like as a good rule is don't play for ganks. Like, play on waves. And if the gank happens because the enemy, you know, makes a mistake, then great, or fights you. But them just walking down here, like whoever, obviously, you know, we misplay it, but still, I think it's good to go into this situation.
Yeah, I fucked up with the tower range.
Okay, so no, I'll just watch actually. Okay, it's wild. Okay, so now you do swap.
Yeah, we swap for grubs.
This is good. Yeah, you're swapping for grubs. You've already lost the dragon probably. I mean, you're matching them, but like you're doing it before they happen, before it comes. So it's good. So now, like, who can you? So we said mid now gets away gets prio. I don't know the Ambassador Renekton or your Ambassador Renekton. Who gets pushing bot now?
Top, or what did you say?
Sorry, top, but like between the bot laners who are now in top lane.
Yeah. I mean, we get prayer.
Okay.
We walk up to the wave.
Okay.
I mean, right now it's still 50-50, but I don't quite know how close we're to 6. But if I get my 6 here, which I have a feeling I might, I think we're a lot stronger.
Can look. You're both a little bit over halfway. Sivir is 6, but he's because of the roam, he's a little bit slower.
I mean, I think whoever's first on the wave just gets prior. So if we're first on the wave, we always get prior. Like this.
Okay. So here, do you want to talk me through what you're thinking in terms of like starting this objective? Like, when would you start it and when would you not start it? If this is the just at
like
this
here,
freeze frame.
Okay, like here we talked about, like I asked like our AD carry if I can start it, because if he just pushed the next wave, and he said yes, so I started, and if we said if they walked up to the bush, we would just turn.
Okay. Do you guys win the 3v3 on top side over here?
I would say yes.
Yeah? Okay.
Wait, can you click on Lulu? I think she's close to the 6. No?
Yeah,
Oh,
both
yeah, we wanted to play on Lulu 6.
If I get 6 here, we win it, but if I don't get 6, it's a bit more off. But I do end up getting 6, that's why we win.
Yeah, that's what... Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, here, when we see Nautilus, it might be an angle for Vi to just smite the first crop and run instantly.
Yeah.
Instead of sitting by yourself.
Basically, what I wanted to hear is like, when would you push the lane wave first, and when would you start the objective first? Like, is there a rush on these? Is it better to take this first? Make sure you guys both get 6. Make sure we can actually bridge across, and there's no like shenanigans where someone gets like either one shot or really chunked out, because we also don't have sums, right?
Yeah, I think we should always just be like with Vi in the bush with Lulu, because it's really risky for Lulu to walk here as well. I mean, she's out, but
really though,
I don't
the
think
thing
so.
is, when I move up when I see Nautilus here, because I know, okay, no one can really pick me, because the only person that could be there is Kindred. Did we see Kindred up there in that thing? We saw him being low HP,
saw
right?
Kindred.
So we see there's no one here to match me, like unless Renekton's for some reason in a crazy bush right now. No one's here, so I know I can step up to ward. So that's pretty safe, and I think it's best that honestly we just clear the wave, because Sivir can't defend by herself. We'll share the XP 2 men, and we can start the grubs because no one can contest it yet. I think we're just too slow to actually regroup when we see them starting to contest. Because I step up already like quite early here when Nautilus steps in, because I think it's a free fight, I'm sure. I don't know that I remember completely what I was thinking at the time, right? But I'm stepping up thinking, okay, we're gonna hit level 6 now, shit should be free. And then I think we're just maybe a little slow to react together here. Maybe because I didn't call in time that, hey, we have to turn instantly here. And we have to start playing it.
Yeah, I agree. I think we just were maybe not on the same page in terms of how we wanted to play it.
One thing for me that I would want to hear more about when you're thinking about these objectives is literally just like the tempo and the waves. So if when I'm talking about tempo, I'm talking about time. So time that the enemy has to be doing something. Either they can't be there because they're literally like on the other side of the map. It takes them a certain number of seconds to get to this side. Or time because they have to be doing something else, like they have to be clearing a wave or something like that, because that of course is the top priority, to just make sure that we're always getting resources and things like that. For me, if you're ever trying to start an objective, I would always want to be pushing the waves first. Like, okay, there's going to be times where you want to break that rule and you want to kind of like rush some things down and all that kind of stuff. But yes, we see Kindred here, we see her half HP.
And he hasn't backed yet after Drake, right? So,
yeah. But when I was talking about why we're doing that, why we're doing the objective, it was more about, at least from what I was hearing, it was more about the fact that we could probably win the fight, not the fact that like, okay, Kindred is like messing up our tempo, which is why we're taking this objective. Because the thing that okay, now we see Nautilus, right? But the thing that I'm kind of more nervous about is if they full commit to this side and we've already started this, if they ever push us back here, then they come round and then Vi gets to be a bit in trouble. And actually, to be honest, I think, especially because Nautilus is level 4, and yes, now we see him as well, you guys are winning this situation anyway. So I'm assuming this goes well, probably, especially as you're both about to get 6. But it just is so much easier if instead of starting the objective, you just walk topside here, you walk into the bush as 2, and then you just push the wave in first, and then when the enemy is there, then you start the objective, or about to be there. So you can start it when you're already 6, and then you have a lot more control. So if you're controlling the river for anything, for Grubs, Dragon, Herald, Baron, all the same, picking a way that you're going to control it is always really, really useful and a really, really good habit to get into. And by a way that you control it, what I mean is literally pick a wave. So not just a lane, but a wave. So like, okay, we're going to control Grubs on this wave because this is the wave that we're pushing in. And while enemy clears this wave, we can put a ward here and clear vision here and go and do the Grubs. And Kindred is on some wacky timer where she's just clearing her camps anyway. And so like this, and like I say, because you're about to get 6, I think you're going to win this anyway. But it just adds a lot more variance than necessary to start these, I think, now before you have a wave crashed in. So if you don't win the fight, then start one, take as many as you can and get out. But if you are winning the fight, then you don't need to rush it. You can just get the wave crashed in, do the kind of steps, get the prio, then go do the objective. And then if they come, firstly, you're going to have a lot more control of the area. Secondly, there's a lot less chance of someone getting like picked or one shot by something. And then thirdly, probably you'll just get the objective for free. So
yeah,
they do come and we do just kill them, I guess. But for next time, always when there's objective, okay, like how are we contesting it? We contest it through mid or we contesting it through side, and not just what lane, but even like what wave. And the kind of dream scenario is if you crash a wave in mid and you crash a wave in top, you take this objective just for the time advantage. Like it doesn't matter if they're stronger than you or not, because they have to clear this wave or clear this wave. And if they just run and fight you anyway, then you just chill and you just wait, and they're losing minions. And this, to be honest, is just, I mean, it's been a little while now, but like when teams first started doing this and just pushing waves and then doing stuff and then pushing waves and then doing stuff, if the enemy team fights you anyway, if they come for the Grubs anyway and they just drop these minions, it doesn't matter. You just rinse, repeat that over and over again and you'll build up these massive leads. So it was like, I don't know, Season 6, Season 7, there was a lot of situations where, I don't know, SKT or whoever it was, it's like if the kills are even, then the gold is in favor of SKT. If they have the kills, they're massively ahead. And if they're behind in kills, they're probably somehow still equal in gold. And that was the reason why. It's because they just pushed everywhere and then did something. Pushed, did something, but always that push first. Because if enemy comes to fight you at Grubs when there's a wave crashing in both sides, then they lose the waves. And if the fight goes even, or you still up in gold, and you just can rinse, repeat the same thing.
Oh, makes sense.
Yeah. Yep. I'm just looking at how this comes back. So, okay, actually, no, I thought you were going to have a lot of cards. Right. And basically that's just how everything in the game works. It's just like getting prio, using the prio, or getting a time advantage, I should say, using the time advantage, and then team fighting. That's like everything that happens in the game. So, wait, they put them. So even here, right after this, trying to find a time now to make sure that Syndra can base or whatever Syndra needs to base is something I don't think it's a big deal, so I don't think we should actually like discuss it, but it's always something to be thinking about, like how are we getting back to base? Do we want to push both these waves in and then base? Because now Vi and Lulu go back, and now Jinx goes back, and Bessa wants the base, Syndra does base, and then teleports back out on the map. And again, it's actually not a big deal here, but it's again something to just think about. If you ever want to get better at it, a really useful thing is you can literally just time it, because tempo is just time. So at 9:10, our first person comes to base, and at 9:56, our last person comes back out of base. So we had 50 seconds of, or 40, no, yeah, 50 seconds of not having 5 people out on the map. And that would be like how well we reset. Now, actually, to be honest, 50 seconds is completely fine. That's not bad at all. But this is one of those things. This is one of those skills that you won't really realize that you need to improve on until you play a team who is better at it than you. Because it's just time. If you take 50 seconds to go back to base, but the enemy takes 70 seconds, then you get an extra 20 seconds, and if you can do whatever you want with those 20 seconds, and you'll get push everywhere, and you'll like get more vision control and all that kind of thing. But if the opponent does it better, then suddenly that same 50 seconds can feel like a long time where we don't have anything to do. So maybe that wasn't the best example to talk about it, because actually the resetting was fine. But it's always something to think about. So now like they're crashing a wave on the one side, and then we go and TP to it, and then we're coming to respond to them, and they're crashing another wave. Why, just out of interest, like once you're coming out of base here, so Syndra's going to reset, what are you thinking about in terms of lane assignments? Like who goes where, and why would they go those places?
I think we're just matching.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Like ideally, I want to be mid always, you know, like in around this area. But also just like I don't think we want Syndra against Severe now. That I don't want to be against Wei, because it's just annoying for me.
Okay. So we don't like either of the mismatched matchups.
Yeah,
No.
I think so.
And if you're just 1v1 against Wei, and it's Lulu and Syndra against Nautilus and Sivir?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, like in terms of like not doing anything, it's whatever, but I can't really do anything, you know? Like, because here I get push against Severe if I just walk up to the wave, and I'm really strong, so I want to play like in the middle of the lane so I can do stuff, but against Wei, he just presses Rumble on the wave, you know?
Yeah.
Then I can't really do anything.
And you guys, what happens if you just walk at him as 2 here, for example?
I mean, we could, I think.
I mean, we can step up to Hui here, but the issue is Hui as a champion, he's
seen
strong enough right now where he'll just clear the wave either way. The fucking Rumble plus his E or whatever not will one-shot the wave.
Yeah.
There's not even a cannon, I'm pretty sure, so there's nothing much to gain from it. And I think the players also just that when we match the Sivir Nautilus, me and Jinx are definitely strong enough to play the fight. We can kill Nautilus even if he sends an engage on us at this point, because Jinx is full item, I'm so much stronger. So we honestly want them to force fights into us, whereas if we try to match Jinx versus Wei, sure, Jinx can probably clear the waves and be safe enough where she can just farm, but me and Syndra into Sivir Nautilus is not winning for us, so if either of us gets hooked or engaged on, it's not a winnable fight, because Syndra's really weak at this point compared to our Jinx.
Okay.
I think Ambessa against Wei would be good though. Like they can always just kill him with Vi, and then Syndra's really good into running.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if Wei is mid lane, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Lane isn't long.
It's just because I think I know who's speaking, but do correct me if I'm wrong. I think at AD carry you said you would prefer to be mid normally.
Yeah.
And why is that?
I mean, I can impact. I mean, like right here, I'm really strong, so I just want to impact that as much as possible, you know. But Like in general, it's just more safe. Like I mean, if I wanna, like if it was like a different comp and we just like straight up kill their what's it called, their side lane, then we can just push mid and then dive. I mean, we can probably anyways. Just push top, push mid, dive top, and then free push. But like I only want to do that if like we actually do it.
Okay. Yeah, I think there's you obviously you're all thinking about all the right things. Like I think one of the things you said there about being mid, I think is really, really important. Is that it's actually like safer. You said it's like safer for me to be in mid lane, and we've seen we've seen a lot this year of AD carries go mid and not having two people mid and just having the support go with the mid laner normally. I mean, T1 did it a lot from if you look at their games at Jesus, what was the first tournament called? First Stand? First Strike?
First Stand?
That whatever? No, or
were they at first
no,
stand?
wait. MSI then?
You mean
Whichever.
MSI?
MSI, the one where two teams went. Yeah. Okay, got my tournaments back to back. The point is, from a little bit before that tournament and then kind of from then on, we've seen loads of teams do it now, and like Fnatic doing it all the time as well. Like you just put your AD carry mid and your if your support can like goes with the mid laner, because that's also another option, because basically like I actually think what you're saying is fine, because if we play towards the Jinx on a side lane, then that's okay. Like if you guys go top and then we just mega strong side you, that also works. But the thing that I'm thinking is like what I was wanting to make sure is that you're not just putting, okay, Civ is top, therefore I go top, and then she goes mid, and then I go mid, and stuff like that, because that's how you end up in a situation where they'll always have the kind of first, they'll always be a little bit ahead of that, right? Because now we see Civ is top. By the time we get there, we've lost a minion, not much, but we're a little bit behind in it, and the same thing had happened in mid. So I think actually what you guys said is good logic. Like you winning the 2v2, we can play heavily towards you. It's hard to punish the wave because he has loads of wave clear, and so this actually works fine, this lane matchup, especially if we're now going to play through this mid lane and then go towards you guys on side. I think it's going to be really difficult for them to do anything, especially because Nautilus is still not 6. But it's just something to always be thinking about. Like we don't need to just match, because it's matching. We think, okay, what is the best case for us? And then it's almost like, okay, now you have to like prove it almost. Okay, most of the pro games we see, the duo lane goes mid or the AD carry goes mid. Like let's prove why that's effective, which is freeing up your support and a lot of safety for your AD carrying. But it looks like you guys just, I mean, they're just engaging.
No, he was like, tank the hook and we win, and then I almost fucking died. But it happens.
Oh, sorry, can you play that again, please? I just want to see.
You get 6 as you go in as well.
Not even close.
Not even close.
Wait, I want to say something, by the way. I think, like, the thing you said before with support freedom and stuff like that, right? Like, when I go mid and he can do whatever he wants. I think we're really, really bad at that. I've also pointed it out, but I think that's a big issue. Like, that we stay mid and then we kind of, like, autopilot on mid-wood lane, you know? And don't, like, empower our side laners. Like, with my lead or with Syndra lead or with our top lead or whatever, you know? Like, we don't use our tempo to, like, empower our laners. Does that make sense? Like, with both support and jungle. And like other laners.
I think that happens a lot, like at this kind of level where you guys obviously like are really good players, and you also watch, I'm assuming, a lot of the top teams, and so people go through the motions of like what the top teams do, but it's not that it doesn't make sense at your level, it's just like the exact reasons as to why are maybe less obvious or less exploited. Because, for example, this 2v2 probably doesn't happen in, well, maybe it does, but it shouldn't happen in like LCK or something, right? Whichever all these 4 people would know who wins this 2v2, and so whoever doesn't win it just concedes the push, and they wouldn't just hook in if they were going to die. Which means like the whole game is going to be quite different, because it becomes a lot more about like pushing and moving to a side laner and stuff like that. So if you are going to put Jinx on side and we're going to play for Jinx, then I think we need to be like pushing mid lane and looking to move across and looking to make plays with Vi on the right timings, like on the waves that we want to fight on. So here we've got cannon wave. For example, like if you guys are winning this 2v2, you can play more aggressively on this mid wave, and then Wei's going to one-shot it after you one-shot it as well, but that still means you have time to start moving. And we just start moving to this side, and we just play aggressively on this cannon wave, and then now, like, once they've given us the push, then we'll be able to do something with it, and we maybe try and dive them, or we maybe try and invade the kindred, or we, do something. But what actually happens is they don't give us the push because they don't know that they lose 2v2, and so they fight you and you just kill them both. So, like, that's where there can be a gap between what you see and think we should play, and also what actually happens in the games.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, from my experience at least, we're just really, like, egoistic or greedy on the waves, Like, we don't want to give waves to help others. Like, that's how I see it. Or, like, we don't want to give camps, or we get, like, annoyed if we have to give camps to, like, help me or something, when I'm, like, 2 items. And I feel like we should just, like, improve on that, and it would be really insane.
Yeah, I think the reason why is also that I feel quite the opposite. I feel like we are dropping way too many waves, oftentimes.
Sorry,
so I think we kind of need a
what position do you
mediator. I'm mid laner.
Mid lane,
I'm mid
okay.
laner. I feel like oftentimes we're dropping like way too many waves and making plays in places where we don't need to make plays, or where it doesn't make sense to do them, Where I'm like, I would rather just play a more safe game and play with play smarter, if that makes sense, rather than forcing and losing waves and stuff like that.
I mean, here, for example, we deny Syndra a wave, right? Like, if you guys Jinx Lulu are going to swap to here to take this wave, then this one is Syndra's. Like, or you're taking 2, right? You're taking 2 and Syndra takes none.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
I mean, wait, can you go back? But yeah.
So this is from the thing that we were talking about earlier, where like, because we swapped to mid because they were duo mid, and then we swapped to top because they were duo top, it's quite hard to make sure that like we're still splitting up the farm, not equally, but at least like doing it intentionally if we're trying to funnel someone a bit. But one of the things that I will say is that it should always, in my opinion, be the goal to be moving and making plays and not giving up waves. Like, we push the wave in mid and then we move to side and we play, like, okay, still it's before 14 minutes, but the whole thing, like, after 14 minutes, the waves are synced, and so you can clear the mid wave and then go and play on the same wave in the side. And that's where you can actually, like, okay, so in this case, like, Syndra clears the mid wave, maybe with help from Vi, maybe with help from Vi and Lulu, or however many people we need to clear that mid wave, and then we can still go to the other side and play on the exact same wave. Like the same, when I say same, I mean like the same number wave. So like this wave is the same as this, it's just in the other lane.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But with these ones, with these swaps, one of the things that's always worth kind of bearing in mind, I don't know if this is all right. Some of this might be too like in the weeds, but anyway. Yeah, you've cleared this wave. You've cleared the equivalent of this wave already in mid, these cannon minions. So here you're going to get 2, and Syndra's going to lose 1.
Evil fucker.
I mean, but if I clear the wave, right? Like only in this state, like if it was like equal, I wouldn't do it, right? But like here, I'm like so strong. So don't you think if I take the wave, then I move top, then we push this, then even if we give 1 mid wave, it's really worth like we just dive top lane.
As in, like you would want to give up this wave?
No. We push this with Vi. No. Yeah, we give the next one. We push this with Vi, and then we just move top, and then, like the mid said, we give a lot of waves, and I agree. But with this wave, like if we give the next wave to get a full top tower and 2 kills, that's what I mean,
You wouldn't even need to give it, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, Ambessa can also move mid.
But I guess can do notice.
But like if you guys are winning the 2v2. Wait, did we see? Yeah, we just saw Renekton. We saw Kindred around.
Yeah, but she's probably pathing to her top side as well right now, no?
I think she's reset.
It doesn't either way. The point is, if you guys win the 2v2, And this is if we want to be really active in the sequence. So we don't actually have, like, it's not this is something we have to do. But if we clear this wave, then the point is that you get all the time. So waves come every 30 seconds. Like, you're going to have, within 30 seconds, you have to be back to mid. Otherwise, you will lose minions. But you can walk all the way up to here and just see what happens. If there's nothing on and the enemy have backed off and there's no objective, you can just come back to mid lane and clear the next wave. Or we can just, like, put a ward down, or we can come here, see that it's going to be worth it because they've stepped up still too far, complete the roam, and then we give up the wave mid. But we don't need to, like, force the play knowing we're going to give up a wave. You know, I would always suggest that you prioritize, like, getting the push in first. But the thing is here is that even though Vi was right here, we didn't force this prio, which means that we shouldn't then try and, like, move, because on this next wave we're going to be, like, still stuck in mid lane. And it could be that your mid, okay, in this matchup, like, we can probably say what you might need at this stage of the game, but in any matchup there'll be stuff that we can do that allows us to, like, free up and move, and just making sure we know what that is really important. So there'll be matchups where, for example, okay, if you have wards, then you can get push, because if you have wards, you can jump in and trade aggressively. I mean, it's not exactly a meta champ. I was trying to think of a better meta example, but the classic is whenever, like, Trist mid is meta, if Trist has vision and can just jump forward, then often you'll be able to force prio. So there'll be matchups like that, but then there'll also be matchups where, like, the only way we can do it is the 2v2. So if we've seen Kindred, she doesn't have a completed item. If in these items we win the 2v2 and we wanted to make an aggressive play, then I would suggest we play much more aggressively on this wave. We clear it as fast as we can, as aggressively as we can, and then we can start to move afterwards. But if we want to just take these camps or play slow, then it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think Vi can honestly also just queue forward and press R on him.
Yeah.
To be honest, like, we are past the stage where we can't do anything at least, so.
Okay. So, but that would be the way to be active, is you push the wave as aggressively as possible, and the higher you push it, let's say these towers are down, both these towers are down, and you clear the enemy wave here, you have ages, you have a lot more time to do something, because you don't have to collect it until it's back here. And so that's how you can be active and not miss minions as well, and that should always be the goal. Like, of course, you'll drop stuff, shit happens, someone pushes faster or anything like that. But the goal would be to drop stuff. So again, lane assignments here. Like, now when we don't see anybody, where do we want to play? Who wants to go where and why?
We called Drake spawns, like,
Drake spawns.
Yes, so we want the strongest member to be on mid or bot.
Okay.
I think we called that.
Yeah.
And our top just went up, I think.
So, if we'll worry about the Drake situation in a second, because they've obviously got the double TP and we don't have any. But what are the things where you're thinking? So Jinx is the strongest. We want to play around Jinx Lulu for sure. Why would it be mid and why would it be bot at this stage?
I think we're saying let's send Jinx bot because it's a longer lane, more volatile, and actually making a play. Where if we go Jinx mid here, Quay will just TP in or come and answer and he'll clear the wave again. He'll probably be most likely safe if Nautilus is hovering or Kindred. Where if we go bot, we have an easier time of making a stronger prio with Jinx because they can contest us at the wave in the lane, knowing that they can be chased down, and then we can actually maybe set up vision in their jungle or start forcing them off the jungle prio because we can confine them under the tower, making it harder for them to play.
Okay. What did you said stronger prio? What do you mean by that?
Well, in a sense, I'm thinking that at the currently right now, right? Mm-hmm. When we have the mid wave versus the bot wave, if Hui wants to go, or Silverflatic wants to go match either the sides, if she steps up to the mid wave compared to the mid wave, she'll be able to clear it a lot quicker. At the same time, we'll be able to, because she can hit while still being somewhat safe. Where if it's the bot wave, we can step up and deny them actual access to the wave while clearing it ourselves, so we can get the wave to push in on the tower and then move before they actually start hitting. Where on mid, they'll hit while we're hitting as well, so our wave will die quick enough that they'll respond.
Okay, so stronger would mean like more time, right? Like, because it takes them
pretty much, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that kind of thinking. Can you really stop Sivir or Wei clearing the bot wave? Like, if Wei just stands here and then when it comes to this point, he just presses, what was it, QE? And it just one-shots the wave at this stage? Or can you stop him doing that?
I mean, it depends
Probably
on if
not,
it's cannon, but
Depends if what, sorry?
I mean, it was still, like, he will still take a lot of time if it's, like, cannon, but otherwise it's one shot.
Yeah. So my thinking here, when I'm thinking about, like, when I'm trying to evaluate where you would go, it's probably biased by the fact that most times in pro games it is mid for bot lane. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm actually able to sort of think it through step by step. The few things that I'm thinking is that I think no matter where you go, both Sivir and Wei will kind of be able to one-shot the waves. But that doesn't mean that it's not... That doesn't mean you don't have prio. That doesn't mean you don't have a time lead. Because, for example, let's say they put Wei mid and you're here and you clear the wave because you're stronger than him, but he clears the wave because he presses one button and it's a fun champ. Mm-hmm. But then you go this way and he has to come this way. And also when he comes this way, he doesn't know if you're in this bush. He doesn't know if you're in this bush. He doesn't know if you're going to throw shit at him. Like, you still get a time. It's still going to take him longer time to get there. So you still actually are generating some sort of time. The other thing is that we're getting closer and closer to the 14-minute mark. So the waves are more and more desynced. So if you clear this wave, you get quicker access to this area. So mid, you're talking about how strong the prio is. I really like that as a phrase. Mid prio is always stronger because it hits first. So once it's cleared, you're going to have like an extra however many seconds it is at this stage. I probably should know that, but I don't. But at 14 minutes, like, you're going to have an extra decent amount of time to get across. And now it's scaling, right? It's not flat. It used to be flat. The other thing, the main thing though, is that this wave is already pushed in. So I'm thinking go mid because this wave I want to push as quickly as possible, whereas the wave that's coming for them is going to take longer before it's at the point where you want to be pushing it. Those are the things that I was thinking. Let's see how the kind of sequence plays out, because you're thinking in the exact same lines, you know, like, okay, where's the strongest prio that we can get? Like, where's the highest time lead that we can get? But I think that this is one of those situations where you can actually punish them for not doing the, like, just copying the pros play of just putting the duo mid. Because if you guys come mid now, then yes, he's going to still clear this wave, but you're also going to clear this wave. And he also can't just go aggressively here, you know, assuming you guys win 1v2. And then by the time that Syndra comes out and comes to bot lane, Syndra can also still just one-shot a wave. And yes, she's going to have a bit weird access. But if they have push in bot, and by push, or I'm going to say tempo again, if they have tempo in bot, and it could be they have tempo because we're actually spend 5 seconds clearing the wave, but it could be they have tempo because even if we don't spend 5 seconds clearing the wave, Syndra can't run through here because Nautilus has gone up this way and she's now scared, and vice versa in mid lane. Same applies. So even though Wei also one-shots the wave, we have a time lead in mid and they have a time lead in bot. This one will always be stronger because it'll be happening a little bit first before that objective comes up.
I mean, you're probably right here. So, like, without sugarcoating it, that's probably true. And honestly, I think the main part in how I'm seeing this, right, is also that I'm not, like, playing on it. I'm not thinking it's this wave that was there now. Obviously, it's the next wave coming here. But in my head, I'm thinking because we're playing into something like a Nautilus, while playing honestly should be losing, but we're strong at the time. I think we have an easier time of, if Vi actually comes bot to this point and we set up for 3v3, of zoning their bot lane away from the Drake by playing in towards the tri-bush on bot, because it makes it harder for Nautilus to start and engage and to actually play, which I think plays to our strong side. Because I think when I see our push in mid wave, sure, if we push the mid wave, then we get prio in mid, which honestly true, better, especially for time, and it's probably still the right play. But I'm thinking that Nautilus would have an easier time, and the rest of the team, of actually setting up a contest for the Drake prio through that mid river, like not the one at mid lane, but the one like close to the middle bush, not that one, the one to the right. Of playing for the control in that bush together with Nautilus Kindred, because it's such an open space that makes it easier for them to actually pick. Where if we set up control through bot and then into tri bush, they don't actually get a chance to step in. It's such a convoluted way to get through, and Nautilus can never step up because of the control that Lulu Jinx actually make in such a small space with chompers, and him being a useless champion to have to walk through that.
But this is all if Sivir and Nautilus go bot lane, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what if Sivir and Nautilus go mid? And then whatever you make a play on bot, Wei also will clear the wave. And yes, you'll have access this way. Because Wei probably can't stand here and clear it. Like, he's going to have to stand at least safely, although he's not in massive danger, but because he's got so much range, obviously. But
definitely.
If he just clears the bot wave and they get prio in mid lane, and then they can come and control this area, and we come and control this area. I mean, maybe either way it works, you know.
I'm still thinking it's worth us to the extent that if we then take a fight to them, because we can still zone off Wei to an extent that I don't think that that weak Sivir Nautilus can actually zone off the Syndra Vi right now. So I think if we then collapse on mid, on them in the 3v4, to an extent, even though Wei will come from like a longer range, I feel like it would still be worth, but it might just be grief. It might just be better always to go mid wave.
Okay.
But I have a question, by the way.
Yeah, sure.
How would you include Syndra in the play? Like, because, like in general, I feel like we have like a hard time knowing how to include our mid laner. Like I usually try to call like someone go help her or something, but like I don't know like what the correct play is in general, you know? Because I really want to include her, but I also don't want to get fucked, you know? Because I need a buy to hover us. Kinda.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you want to go like 4 mid
who is asking?
ATC.
ATC. Okay. I think it has to come from the side laner. So mid in this case. Like I said, side lane because it applies in both cases. Like if. Again, it starts to get very convoluted because it's like if and if and if and if and if. But let's say you were pushing mid as 2 and Syndra was coming bot lane. Let's go back to when she was coming out of base. So you would be mid lane here. Both these mid lanes died. He's already cleared the mid lane. Syndra would be able to play on this wave in bot lane. So she would be clearing this one on the tower and playing on this wave if possible. You'd be trying to control the area so that the call would be like, okay, we're playing on the dragon, we want to control it from mid lane. It's not going to be the waves that are there now, obviously. It's going to be the waves that are coming out next. And Syndra just needs to say like what she needs, because it'll be different every time. So for example, like Wei needs less because he can stay at longer range. Syndra probably needs more because she's like super dangerous, not dangerous, the opposite. Super vulnerable. Because the thing that instantly made me nervous is that if Sivir and Nautilus go mid and they one-shot the wave, Syndra just can die at any bush, and it's really, really hard to bridge her across the whole way. And in bot lane, like if you had push in mid, the only reason it works better is because you get the push in mid first. So you start coming this way before this wave is dead. And then once Syndra can play for the wave, then you'll be closer to like bridge her across. But it always depends. Like these wards, like bridge wards, connect wards, different teams call them different things, are really, really important. And these bushes that people already were calling out, like depending on what side you're on, these like bridge wards, if you're red side, making sure there's a ward here so that when you clear mid, you can come across. And if you're blue side, this ward or this ward, these like connect wards, so you can connect the person, or bridge wards, as in like it builds a bridge so that you can walk across the bridge to get to the rest of the fight, is really important. And the inverse is true as well. And maybe more fun to focus on, like punishing people when they come across these connections and they don't do it properly and they're a bit kind of lazy with it. So let's see like how this objective, we talked obviously a lot about it, but let's see how the objective actually like plays out.
Yep.
And again, because they match you, I think anything with the lanes, like it ends up being a bit of a wash anyway, because both teams make the same decision. Here, for example, something always worth bearing in mind is that you need to be cautious of like over roaming. So the reason I'm using this example is because it's tiny and it doesn't make that much difference, but it sort of proves the point because it will happen a lot. Like the poor resets thing, it doesn't feel like a big mistake until you play against teams who start to play really, really well with tempo. So here, for example, once these waves are cleared in mid lane, and the same applies to everyone, you have until the waves crash again, or actually not, like until the waves are about to crash again, to fight for the next prio. And like if you are going to roam and do something, you have to start to be conscious of how much time you have before you give something up. So if you had, as Syndra, if you'd have cleared this wave and you'd have walked this short way, I mean, I don't think you actually can, so I'm not saying it was the right thing to do. But if you'd have walked this short way and put a pink ward here, you could walk back to mid lane and be on time for the wave, like as the wave hits the middle, which means that you're going to have your best chance of fighting for the next prio. Now we come this longer way, which means already now we're going to be a little bit late, and hitting this means we're going to be a little bit later. So again, I'm not saying that this is a bad thing to do. I just want you to be aware of what you're giving up for doing these quote unquote small things that don't feel like a big deal. Because now Wei is on the first on the wave. He could actually be here. Let's see actually how much vision control they have. Okay, wait, why is this not? Okay, well, they have terrible vision control. But if because the last wave they'd cleared in mid, if they'd have got a ward down here, for example, then Wei is already here. He already clears the wave, and he just gets as like mega tempo over the dragon. Because this wave crashing.
My thought was that because they had like the enemies already have like the prior from the last wave, I don't feel like I'm gonna be able to get prior because I don't know where Kindred is, so I can't be the first one to step up.
Yeah.
I would rather just place the pink ward and take the vision thing so that I can at least like assist my team in getting their prior, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna give it anyways.
Yeah, and that's a fine decision. The reason that I was talking about it is just to make sure that you all know that it is a decision, you know, like it is actually like just being there fast is the same. And you see it a lot with the roams, like we talked about before. For example, when you one shot a wave, you'll gradually start to feel it. To be honest, I don't think it's even worth having. I've seen people with like spreadsheets of like, okay, when I've got tier 2 boots, I can go to here, like a big picture of the map that has like rings, and it's like, okay, tier 2 boots gets me this point. I don't think that's really worth it, but I think the thing that is worth it is just to be always aware of it. So when you one shot the wave, maybe you can walk to here and walk back and lose nothing, or you walk to here and you lose no CS but you lose prio, or you walk to here and you lose some of the wave, you know, like, and just being aware of those things, because there will be times where it's worth just going the whole way, and there'll be times where it's not. But this, again,
100%, but it's a good point.
Well, and this, like, now we're in the same like the situation that we were was a bit worried about, right? Like, in the end, we can't fight for either of the priors for these waves. Maybe we could have. We didn't, I should say. Not we couldn't. So here, Wei went mid. Again, if I'm them, Sivir and Nautilus go mid. They appear now. They kill this wave. They get vision down. And then they're going to be on the next wave. Or probably not there, like here and here probably. They get 2 vision walls down. They're first on the next wave as well. And then especially in that situation, if you had gone to bot lane and they had gone to mid, then I think it's even easier for them to control this area. But even though you're really, really strong on the Jinx, we actually can't get into this fight very well. Let's see how this... So
Can I ask something?
Yeah, of course.
Is it always worth to just take your 80 carry mid? Like you just told, like it would with Sevilla and Nautilus, they should have been mid, not bot.
Yeah.
For example.
Yeah.
Is it always worth it to just take your 80 carry and like your bot lane mid?
I would say if you're ever going to have just a blanket rule, then yes. Like I think in most cases, it's best to have your 80 carry mid, and even in the situations where it's not, it's doable, you know?
Okay, but at which if you have a time from like where we should do it from, like where we just should almost just perma take our 80 carry mid instead of bot or top. So if you have a time,
I don't know about a specific timer. If you ever get an outer tower down already, then that's obviously a very good timer. But they do tend to stay up longer now. The closer you get to 14 minutes, because then the mid prio becomes more and more important. So now, for example, I would say if you wanna think about the game in like sections, the first section is obviously your first pathing, and if we be generous with the sections and say they're like, I don't know, every 5 minutes, let's say, it's obviously not exactly this. It's the first, and it's the possibility of a super early dragon. The second one is the grubs one. From that, so from like from like, well, at the very least 14 minutes, but from second dragon onwards, I think if you want a default, you can put it mid. Now, like we discussed before, I actually do think here there are arguments to go bot lane, and I appreciate that Wei makes everything a little bit awkward because he can just one-shot the wave from miles away. But the fact that Wei gets this push in mid lane isn't that big a deal. But if Nautilus and Sivir got this push in mid lane, it would be a nightmare for you guys because there's two of them and one of them has wards, and so he puts wards down. So it makes like a lot of a bigger deal. And then to be honest, the big thing, like we talked about before, is this AD carry safety. So actually, Wei and Syndra are not exactly safe mid laners, but when you're Azir, Ahri, Talia, Akali, like all those other ones, which are also very meta at the moment, they're much safer on side. And even these two, I would say, are safer on side, not because they're actually safer champions, but because Wei just one-shots the wave from longer range. And so that's how he becomes safer, even though he's not exactly safe on side. And so basically, if they don't put their duo lane mid and you don't put your duo lane mid, oftentimes it'll probably just be a wash. Like it'll just be like, it's fine. But if they get pushed in mid with two people and you get pushed on side with two people, it's probably better to be mid because these two wards are very easy to get and then still get back to mid lane to get the next push. Whereas pushing in here, like these kind of wards, you might not have time to get, and this one can be contested through mid lane as well. And then, like I said, mid lane crashes first, so they're going to be first into the different paths of the jungle. They're going to be first to get those vision down. But if you want a blanket rule, just plus 10 minutes is always worth thinking about. If you're in a situation where everyone's gone to base and it's after 10 minutes, but it's also like how fast people push, how safe they are, who's the strongest. But if you do want a blanket rule,
that makes sense.
I think it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think like a scenario where you maybe wouldn't want like to have bot lane mid would be if you have like, I don't know, for example, 6 and you have, I don't know, Kai'Sa bot lane.
Kai'Sa, yeah, Kai'Sa's the classic. Because Kai'Sa also doesn't necessarily want to come like front to back in a fight, That also matters a lot.
And she can join fights like if they happen, like if they even if they don't happen on her lane.
Yeah. I mean, it's like Ambessa, for example, right? Like even if, I mean, it's not like Ambessa would necessarily ever be mid, but it's actually better for Ambessa to be like off on the side, coming a little bit from like a weird angle, and Kai'Sa can be the same for sure.
Yeah.
And like Ziggs or Xerath is another one. To be honest, Xerath still, I mean, we played a bunch of Xerath this year because we had No Way who loves Xerath. We still just stuck him on side lanes a lot, and it's a little bit hard, and that's a big reason why a lot of people don't play Xerath, is because it's quite hard to deal with.
Also like you did a lot of, I think, was it you did Seraph into Syndra and also Azir, if I
into Azir was the classic, like long range into Azir.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I feel like when you play Seraph into Azir, like, sure, you're like thematically countering him, and like it should be good,
The
but then
hard.
he built Merc. Yeah, Azir builds Mercs, and then he still gets side push.
Like you for sure still give up the side push. It's mostly like how the team fights play out later on that can be an absolute nightmare, right? So let's look briefly at this bot lane one, because we talked about the mid lane one. So we are probably losing this next mid prio because we lost the last mid prio, even though they actually didn't do anything with the fact that he got pushed. I think he literally just warded there, which is useless. If you're Wei, you still ward here, even though you only have one ward. But we lose the bot lane one. So here, if we want to contest this, again, I don't actually know if you guys want to contest this, but if we want to contest this, we have to know, again, just like with the grubs, what wave are we contesting this? So it's not just what lane, although even what lane is a great conversation to have, but what wave? Like if we're contesting this on this wave, I mean, we might not necessarily have time at this stage, but anyway, then we want to be really aggressively pushing this. So we literally want to push this as high as possible. If we're winning this 3v3 and we want to play for Dragon, these are two ifs, then we want to be like the better, like it's better if we get it there than there, and it's better that we get it there than there, and it's the higher up you get the wave, the better. And you can like the first thing you're fighting for is the wave. If you win the fight, the first thing you fight for is the wave, and then you basically say to the enemy team, okay, either fight us or give us the wave. And if they give you the wave, then you go to the objective, and then you say, okay, either fight us or give us the objective. And that's what you're kind of rinse and repeating.
So since you want to fight this, Vi should have just been at front person walking up with the wave to force
them.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter if they know. Like, if you're winning the fight, it doesn't matter if they know if Vi's there. Like, I mean, probably because it's Vi, you can make the case that like queuing over here and full sending it onto the Sivir and trying to smite off her shield because she doesn't have flash. If you guys have timed the flash, all those kind of things can matter. But the main thing to take away is that like if you want to fight the objective, pick a wave that you want to fight it and fight the wave first. And to be honest, you'll be amazed at like, I mean, this is only the second dragon. You'll be amazed at how many games you win by fighting the wave instead of fighting the objective because teams are just not ready for it. Like the classic one, okay, maybe it works with Ambessa as well, but the classic would be like Ornn or something. Like you win so many games, to be honest, even in ERLs, like even in like the top ERLs, I mean, but the lower down you go in the game, you'll win so many games by just fighting really hard for the wave rather than the objective because people just step up too far. And it's hard to see that that's not happening in pro play, if that makes sense. You know, not seeing something is much harder to spot than seeing it, and it's because nine times out of 10, when you know you're losing the fight, you don't step up for the wave because you know they'll send it. I mean, even like Callista's had a big problem this year, for example. Like his biggest problem, I think, is just like not realizing that people will just fight him on the waves, and he just dies on waves sometimes. So, if we were going to fight this, we would fight really hard for this wave. Syndra would be moving already. It's great that you've got your own connect ward. It's still going to be dangerous, obviously, going through here. So you're still going to be... They've still generated some tempo by just making this a scary area. Because if this takes 3 seconds and this takes 7, then they've generated 5 seconds of extra time just by making you go a longer way. That's not how long that actually takes, just pulling numbers out my ass. So fighting it on this wave would have given you better access. And I think because the Jinx is strong, this is the wave that I would just be fighting.
Cool. Yep. I mean, I'm fucking griefing here. I should just walk up.
Yep.
Yeah, everyone can. Yeah, everyone can. Yeah. But I think even that, it will be such a useful thing for you guys. Just, okay, what wave are we fighting this objective on? And then just, if they're killing that wave, like, kill them. Like, this is ours. Get off it. So in the end, it ends up being a smite fight. But I think they can make this much harder for you to contest this area than they do.
That's true.
Like Nautilus.
I mean, to be honest, we're also...
This is scary.
Like, Nautilus being there isn't the worst, because I think if Vi just walks up first, I think we're fine. We do it because we saw Hui on the top side, but honestly, we are piss griefing with the fight if Hui is positioned behind that wall right now. Like, if Hui is standing more to the right and he gets to our back... right there-ish, he gets to our backline for free with a full combo and we're kind of fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jinx walking up first, that's also a bit rough, I guess, because if they're ready for Nautilus to just send it on him, it's kind of bad. I mean, we do have flash, I guess, but...
Yeah, but it's tough. And, like, if you just get hooked out of fog, like, you can't be always outplaying that.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, this is maybe a useful moment to switch to their side. Because if you are in this situation where you've got prio on both sides of the objective, you have to be, I think, playing more for the fight, like playing better for the fight. Because maybe it's Nautilus in here, maybe it's Nautilus in here, whatever it is. The point is that now if you're the other team, so if I say we, I mean them, you can set up the fight however you want. Because, like, I mean, like I said, we should have had vision down here as well, like much deeper than this, considering we had push on the last waves as well. But however they want the fight to happen, that's how they can make it happen. If they want it to be like a pick from somewhere, they can do that. If they want it to be an easy, like, front to back, they can do that. If they want it to be a situation where they get some poke off, they can do that. But instead, they're just, I don't know, Nautilus has to do an extra 50 damage to the dragon and also uses W.
That's true. I mean, they agree with that.
And he doesn't have hook or W because he hooked
W'd
and W'd the dragon. So
yeah, he also
ults Vi.
and
Yeah, because he wants to stop Vi from taking it.
Yeah, I don't know, we are
Very
basically...
almost just one shot there, yeah. Yeah, so this kind of fight, to be honest, like they
don't think we should have won. They just griefed it.
yeah, they're basically like you can still win, but like they are the ones who choose exactly how that fight happens, and so yeah, they end up doing it in a way that is good for you.
But we also played it somewhat mechanically poorly, so I think it's honestly just lucky that they played it worse.
Yeah.
But it's good. Like if you control an area, you just do the opposite of that. You know, like you just say, okay, how exactly are we fighting this when they come in, and don't like support. Don't use your hook ability on the dragon, especially. But just don't use anything on the dragon. Like just be playing for the fight.
And Nautilus E damage does go crazy on Drake these days.
Yeah. Then you can E it and not hook it, and it's still better. So here again, like the resets are always going to be something that's worth thinking about. There's nothing actually particularly to play for. You want to obviously be starting to play around the Herald, so maybe it is going to matter. So now bot lane is basing. Now Syndra is basing. Now Vi is basing. And so all this time, like they're coming back out on the map. It's hard for us to play, but you're gonna get again. I say get away with it. I want to stress it's not like I haven't noticed a big problem with how you're resetting or anything like that, but it's always something that can be done better. And it's the biggest way to do it better is honestly just to realize that it's a thing that happens in the game. And it's just if neither team is paying attention to it, you can both get away with doing it poorly, and it doesn't really matter. But if you start saying, okay, guys, let's just make sure that after these fights we're resetting together, and we're making sure that if people need to stay to clear an extra wave, other people are staying to make sure they're safe, or if people need to base, then other people are basing. And then you'll notice that so often it's just easier to control the next sequence because you're like, oh shit, like we're just here and they're just not here, and we can just push. So, in the end, actually, saying all that, it is going to be on the timer for the Herald. So, after the fight, same as after the objective, if there wasn't a fight, just to be looking like, are there any waves that need to be dealt with? Are there any people who need to base? And like, what's the next thing? Because this does end up getting extended for very, very long.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, they get an extra pick on the back end.
Me and Jinx also end up wasting a shit ton of time here, which is quite great, because then Siva even manages to get 2 in the mid wave before even pushing it in, which is rough, because I think we are in a little miscommunication about whether or not we can actually do something, but here find the way of see a play.
And also the
I mean, Siva could even cancel Jinx again here.
Yeah, Siva should play much more aggressively to cancel you guys.
Can she? I mean, I
yeah,
get
100%.
Play, but if she walks up here, I honestly flash EQ her. She doesn't have any support at the moment.
Yeah, but you're standing behind Jinx though, so you can't. She should always just walk up and Q Jinx here.
Yes. But
it's a bad reason.
But either way, like the main thing is that like now Syndra and Vi are basing, and so here already playing this Herald is now going to be hard, because now like it's up in 30 seconds. Same situation as before. They have now, because we literally saw the Kindred, but we've got 2 people in base. We're currently 3v5 on the map for, well, not technically because you've got TP, so 3.5 v potentially 5 on the map for the waves before, which means they're going to push them in. But this is okay. Like, shit happens at the end of the fight. We got caught. We messed up our tempo, something like that. Like, stuff is going to happen. You're never always going to be able to do this perfectly. So the question would be what else to do. Like, this is the wave that if we can fight for it, we can start to control the Herald. But again, they're the ones stepping up to clear it. So with Waybot and with Renekton top, do we win the 3v3?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So then again, like, then we should be fighting this wave first. If we want to fight Herald, this is the wave that we're fighting. And this is a great way to contest it because, again, now we're full post 14 minutes, which means that... I'll pause it. So, like, already, if you guys want to fight, like, I would be here, like, pushing them away, just taking space by just saying, basically, like, we're stronger, you want to fight us, or you want to give us this wave. And either they fight you, and in which case, if you guys think you win the fight, that's good. Or, more likely, they step back and you get the push. So even though she has more wave clear, as in like she can just press W and hit stuff, she has to actually be able to hit for that. And if you're just standing here and being like, okay, you know, what are you going to do? Then that becomes much harder. And this obviously is the main thing, is look, this wave is crashing and you would actually be able to clear this and then come this way and even let Mbessa start to clear more aggressively because her wave hasn't even crashed yet.
True. I mean, yeah, we should
Way is
play a
coming
lot
across
harder.
though, so
We could even, like, at the start of this play here, we could also honestly just send it on Nautilus. Like, nothing stopping us from just going aggressive on that Nautilus.
The way it does, no?
the
Like,
way is starting
when
to
she
come
moves
up.
like that.
Yeah, but here, like, he's miles away. We can have
Yeah.
Jinx stepping up, start out-attacking for completely free if Nautilus stands to try to
And
contest anything with
the-
Vi just besides him.
Yeah, I mean this is Enchanter specific, right? But one of the things that you can do with enchanters at this stage of the game, especially if you're as mega fed as you guys are, is you just put so much pressure on people if you just run at them. Like if you just speed and shield the Jinx and just run forward, Nautilus has to make like a split-second decision of like, are we full sending it for a fight, or am I just like completely chunked? You know, like it forces people to have a lot of pressure. So I mean, to be under a lot of pressure. But here, because of the space that we give Sivir, they're able to full one-shot this wave, even though we think we're stronger. And so they get prior for the objective. And Wei moves across because of the mistiming of resets, right? So Wei is the one who gets the first move because... Well, mostly because he didn't need to base, right? And he can come forward. Okay, no, he got some harass on us. So he just got the push in, which means he got the base first, and then he just one shots the wave because it's Wei. But here, for example, we still have Syndra TP. So if you're playing mega aggressively on this wave, Syndra just one shots this wave. Firstly, they're too far apart, like you said. Like Wei is too far away to actually make this matter. But if this turns into a long play, Syndra can actually TP, and this is completely fine. Like, yeah, you're TPing like for a fight on the wave, but really you're fighting this wave for this Herald, if that makes sense. Like it's all connected. So that's, I think, a big thing that you guys can start thinking about. Like if we're because it looks to me at least like you guys are saying, okay, we're fighting this Herald. But if you're fighting this Herald, it first means you're fighting this wave. Because now the fight might well still be winnable, but is much harder than it otherwise would be. We've had to use some tools already to check with like Jinx ult and stuff like that. And to be honest, okay, maybe in this game, like, maybe you're okay anyway. But if we give control in a lot of situations, I would just say, okay, the objective is over. Like, it's done. If both teams are playing around control properly, so often, if the game is even remotely close to equal, the team that has the control will win the fight. So now it's done. So now we just have to play on bot side instead. So now we already have to cross map because, like, we just lost the push.
I mean, I think a lot of this is also coming from hesitance because we're playing with this Enchanter support where we normally prefer to play engage. So I don't think like that Vi and Jinx are really prone to stepping up, knowing that they have a Lulu behind them here.
Okay, so that makes a lot of sense.
Why we're playing so defensively.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Maybe we have played 3 Enchanter games overall or something like that.
Okay, right. That makes a lot of sense because it is quite different. Like you have to be a lot more aggressive with your bodies, basically, because your spells are less and less aggressive.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm just autopilot, honestly. Like, I shouldn't give the ways. It's really...
Yeah, I mean, I would say, and to be honest, I don't know if any of you watching any of the Nord games from this split, like, our biggest problem by miles was we didn't talk about the waves enough, and we're still talking and thinking about them a lot more than is it in this game, for example. So so far, to be honest, the biggest difference that I see from this game to the like NLC 1 or Emir Masters or even LAC or whatever is like just the focus on it's the focus on tempo, but that's a bit like wishy-washy. So it is stuff like the root resets and stuff, but the main thing is like waves are just everything. Like if you're fighting for the objective, think about it as this is the wave that we are pushing, and we don't let them clear it. We're fighting them for it.
Yeah.
Like this. What? Actually, how does this even happen? They do the herald. Guys,
Just step up and
fight.
full it.
And they just know you're all here, and then they just...
I think Sivir just ends up disrespecting the dive because she thinks she can full clear and maybe underestimates that we still have ults and like a little bit too strong. It's just a grief.
Yeah, I mean it's just good. It's a good dive. Like you just and this is fine. Like because this is the thing is that and this is why I was saying before. Like we don't play the waves, don't play the gank, because the same thing happens here. Like the correct play for Sivir is to lose all this wave, and AD carries hate that. Like she will so often just step up and just be like, maybe I can take it.
Yeah, I mean I think Wei is griefing more, no? Or like, do you think it's better for Sivir to just give it, or for Wei to TP top? Because Kindred is bot side anyway, so she can just catch the mid wave and Wei defense stuff. Because we can't really dive if Wei is top.
So if I go from their side, because so it makes it a little bit easier to think it through. So they get the prio, and then they slow you guys down enough to pick up the objective. They walk away not all together. And again, I think once they get this push, they should be playing for this fight. Like Nautilus can just stand here and slow you guys down a lot more. And Sivir and Wei can come up this way, and then like whichever way they want to go back, they should all go together. Like how I don't know, I don't even know. Like however they want to play the fight, they should make that fight happen like that, because they can.
Yeah. I mean, you don't even have to play the fight. The Nautilus steps up for absolutely zero, so does Sivir. They don't do damage. They could have just taken Herald with Kindred, Renekton, eat back over the wall, jumped over. They would have been safe and still gotten Herald if Wei just combos us when we walk up. Again, they're just griefing a fight because they allow us to take a fight, and we win it because we're a lot stronger in a team fight. Yeah. When we at least like get all in it with via Lulu combo.
I mean, I think at this stage, if he even if he starts TPing, I don't think.
I think he's
before
when preemptively. Like when he see we push this wave here, when we step up 2 with the Vi, that he just straight up TPs.
Then
like right
then
here.
You guys just base. Like then it's fine.
Yeah.
If he TPs and you base, like it's fine.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, but I mean, is it worth for them if he TPs and defends?
Oh, as in like now that they should TP. I don't know actually what I would want if I was them. Let me look around. I mean, this whole thing is already
Syndra. Do they kill Syndra? Yeah, I don't even know. Because Wei does end up looking for her because he has everything up.
I think it's also his way it gets like a bit strange. You have two people. You have 2 people on this side, but you're still like weak siding it. You know. Yeah. Like you put 2. This is like so. If you just had one person here and it was just Sivir here, I'd just say like just leave her and like let you guys crash it in and play on the other side.
Wei could just one shot mid wave and then walk up and then.
Kindred also could just walk up. Like if we're aware that this.
I would want Kindred to go. I would if they know we're playing for top tower. I would want my Kindred to go down and get the mark. You know.
I mean, to be honest, I would say that because you guys are just like extending, like 2 people are half HP. If they just cross map whatever happens here, I assume they would be in a good spot. Because if the play just like keeps extending, just the whole thing ends up super wacky. Because like I said, they have 2 people on one side, but that's the side they have are not.
I mean, I would say Kindred also straight up goes Wolf Camp.
Like Kindred runs this way. Like
she's actively doing the bare minimum to do nothing. Like he doesn't even invade us. He's just like out of armor. And that is why this is one.
Three options, and he chose like the 4th one that like wasn't even an option.
I mean, if they just give up this wave and you guys stay with all, like 4 people on this side, I mean like maybe you take this tower, but if they just play mega hard on mid lane, I think I would, if I was them. Firstly, they're in this situation because of a mistake, like this whole situation after they had so much control, and so like it's like the thing we were talking about at the beginning. Sometimes, okay, look, either we made a mistake or we drafted enemy has prio in too many places, or we played the lanes so they have prio in places that they shouldn't. Okay, we are just going to lose something. So they're going to lose this tower actually because of the way they fought this herald, but I think they can't. What? Okay, right. The thing I was thinking, like, did he have like I was thinking, I'm pretty sure he had aftershock and not TP. Yeah.
This shit works, by the way.
Okay, wait.
Like,
okay, this is starting to get messy. Like, okay, there's nothing. This is just a play into a play into a play into a play. Like, this is like the herald fight into the dive into the top tower into the. Okay, so now, very good spot. Jinx is mega strong. Let's see how we. Because same again, actually.
Again, here we give fire, which is great.
but by the way, one thing I will say, right? You guys are always here to play for the wave. So like, that's why when you were saying, okay, maybe we just need to get more used to playing with enchanters as well. Like, I think that's a legit thing because you're all here ready to fight for it. You just need to actually do it. And every time you have
just
been.
a report young lady, honestly.
just someone needs to step up and just don't let them. This is ours.
We also have to be more. We also just have to group better because I think we are not well, you already said obviously, but especially this with actually just sending jungle mid to contest the Vi instead of just being bot. Because what is Vi doing here?
Vi, I think for me, Vi now is in the right place. Like, we want to play this dragon, this wave. We just full send.
Oh no, I mean when the wave crashes. Yeah. Look at where Vi is standing for this, and then just keep playing it.
Yeah. So. Yeah,
like Vi straight up
this is like this as it has been a few times, but this is like good. We're all positioning. We're ready to fight for this wave. The second you see that they're stepping up for this wave, it's like these are inters. Like these guys need to die for this. You have red buff as well. Like this, you should just be like running forward. If you have Shurelias, use Shurelias. If you're queuing over the wall, like we're just these people. Need to be here, otherwise they're dead. Like they need to just insta get to this, like to back to the side. And to be honest, it's most important for the waves on the objective, but it's true at any point. If you are winning the fight with the people who are in the area, so here we know it's a 3v3 and we know we win the 3v3, don't let people clear it high. Like don't let them clear it faster than you. And it doesn't matter if how much wave clear they've got or not. So even if it was way mid, for example, and he can just use one ability at this stage to clear basically the whole thing, or two from miles away, he still has to do it here. Like he still shouldn't be allowed to do it there, because it gets you still some extra time. So you once again you were in the position for it both times. But this whole thing would be so much easier, and I don't think you'd lose this top tower if you'd have got prio on this wave. Because if you get this push in, and then they are stuck under this tower. Let me see. Because I think they push in, and then they go to the other side. And then by the time we take control and come back, they're already like here. And they put the herald down. To be honest, I think Civic could have also run up top. But this is actually quite a good play from them, to be fair. So they get 3 towers. And are they in that same situation again when they've got 2 people on their weak side? Oh. I mean, they can't. They can't be here. Okay. But I mean, it's a really good punish. So this for me is the same mistake again. Like, this is not their wave. And this time you do punish on it. But from their point of view, like, you have to just give this. You've taken literally 3 towers for a dragon and a tower. And it's worse because they have 2 people. So you can, I guess, learn from this on the other side. Like, if you are going to weak side someone, fully weak side them. Like, this sort of half-half where you're like, okay, Nautilus was here with the Sivir and here with the Way, but both times it's still 2v4 or 2v3. It's worse than it just being 1v3, you know?
His name is Chimp for a reason.
Yeah, so they both just get one shot. They lose the tower as well. But again, both times it's good punish. Like, all you do is you make that play, and they should just give it, and then you recall. And then you get the tower, and you crash the wave, and Wei's just sitting here feeling sad and casting those long-range Ws, like QW or whatever it is. And then now you have to make the... I think already we can start to... Like, we can't pressure on this with one minion. So now 2 people base. Let's go back and see the basing. So Ambessa starts the base. 1920. So it's not too bad.
I should just base with us and take a camp.
Wait, is there a
when she comes
mid-wave,
out of
by the
base or what?
I think each
Do you
time
think-
there's no easy answer, and it sometimes is worth like messing up your own tempo depending on like what's up, because we've got ages for Baron. Okay, Atkan is up, but not often rushed at 20 minutes, especially I would assume probably less so at the lower down you go. So because there's like a lot of timer on like the next dragon and stuff, it's not necessarily like if there's a big reason to stay. But as always, it's just something I was just interested to see how much it would be. So 1920.
Like I
do you
only
think it
stay
would-
here. Okay, so
Okay, do you think it would make sense for me, ADC, to just take the wave here when Vi is staying?
Yeah,
I mean, I
if
think
I
it
is
should,
staying, I
no?
would just stay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it doesn't need to be that the person who is basing late needs to base early. It can be sometimes the opposite. Like
No.
if you want to take these camps as Vi, I think it's perfectly fine to just take the next waves as Jinx.
Yeah.
like I only take this game because it's a mark, like
Yeah.
Kindred, right? And
But-
and we don't have the tempo anymore.
I think
Like,
it's
they can
perfectly
bring out
fine to
base.
take everything. By the way, like for everyone
Okay.
to take everything. Like you're not okay. You have some gold, but it's not like there's gonna necessarily be a massive fight soon, based on the fact that you have like 1,300 gold or whatever.
True.
So
Yeah,
I think
I think we should just call it then.
I think
we
to be
wanna take
honest,
something.
like Vi can take this, Jinx can take this, and then mid wave you can take these camps as well. Like whenever camps are just sitting there up, it's good to find a time to just like get them. But it is exactly what you said. Like find a way or a time to be talking about it. Like so, okay, this is just like a farming sequence, or we need to get to base, or anything like that. Just
Yeah.
like, or even like you start basing and then Vi says I need these 2 camps, because it could be not a mark. You need them for a mark, or you need them for an item. Then okay, fine. Like our jungle is taking 2 more camps, so I'm gonna stay and take 1 more wave, even though it makes no difference to my completed items. It just means that
Yeah.
you get more gold, because when you came back out on the map and Vi wasn't out on the map, if the enemy was all out as 5, you actually would just sit around chilling for a bit.
Mm. I have this recorded, by the way, if you want to watch the POV, but we speak Danish. I don't know if you care about that.
No, it's like like this. I mean, this works from my point of view. We'll just finish this game, and then that'll be it for this one. Okay. So Wei is top with no TP.
No clue.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is like I mean we see the Kindred as well. So this is like kind of opportunistic too. But this situation is like the classic 2-wave play. And this is maybe this is probably something that's going to be, I would say, maybe a little bit less useful than some of the stuff we talked about before, but the higher up the league you go, the more useful it becomes. Like, maybe not 9 times out of 10, but in most cases, how you want to force the pace of the game, how you want to force objectives, is by playing on 2 waves. Because if you play, like, if you're the team that wins the team fight, especially the team that wins the front to back team fight, because if you play just on 1, if we just send 5 people mid and the enemy sends people on both sides, then it's always hard to do anything, and you'll always give up stuff. So you'll take a dragon, they'll take like a tower or 2 towers or something like that. But if you're the team that's winning 5v5, the way that you play stuff without losing anything, at least in a kind of theoretical context, is you want to be playing 2 waves. So what you do, and again, this can be like a literal step-by-step. At Solari, for example, we literally wrote this on the wall. So it's literally just like point 1, we do this. Point 2, we do this. Is that kind of cookie cutter. Depush the 3rd wave. So we want to play mid-bot for the Atakan. Okay, Atakan's a bit weird as well. Let's pretend it's Dragon. Because Atakan's not actually in the same position, which is kind of fucked people all year, to be quite honest. It's nearly the same position, but it's not quite. So you depush the 3rd wave so that you basically give yourself as much time as possible before you have to worry about it. Because all the time they're pushing it back, you don't have to worry because it's not actually threatening anything. And then by the time it gets like here or whatever, then you have to worry because it's going to start to do that. So you depush the 3rd wave, then you all reset, then you come out of base. We said you spam ping the waves that you want to play on. So it's these 2 waves, mid and bot. Now from now on, no one leaves this area. And we basically just go up with the waves. So like when the waves are here, everyone's here. When the waves are there, everyone's here. Like if you imagine drawing a like semi-curved line in between the waves. And basically, just like I said with the 1 wave that we were talking about for objectives, and I was saying like fight them on the wave. It's the same thing, but for 2. So you just do it 1 by 1. So you clear mid wave first and everyone's fogging in between. And then you clear bot wave because mid wave crashes first. So playing on these 2 waves for this Atakan be really, really important. It was just a really good timing for it because you crash this wave in top, but we saw the wave come to top lane. So again, Sivir, I want us to generate as much time advantage as possible over whoever clears mid wave. And so like we want to be pushing them as far back as they can. And so they even like are sitting under tower. So these are the kind of little tricks that, or not tricks, but things to be aware of that will get you like, they become more and more important the further up the ladder that you go. Is that the more time you can generate, the better. So if Civ is clearing the wave here, it's better that she clears it here, better for us. And it's better that she clears it here, you know? And if this tower is dead, it's better that she clears it here. Like the further back she collects it, the better for us. And so it's probably quite, maybe it feels quite dangerous even to do that because there's not enough people around mid lane. So,
but I have a question, by the way.
Yeah, sure.
Like pushing her back, do you mean like on this wave, right? Do you mean just stepping up and like hitting her in the face, like that's pushing back? No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. But also the top wave. Do you want us like how do you want us to push it? Like 5 people top, push it in, and then.
No. It's how basically you just want to push it as much as you can push it. So in this situation, the reason that I instantly started thinking about 2 waves is that you've managed to push it literally as far as possible. But it depends on who's on that wave. It depends on how strong they are. It depends on how much they can push it in. Basically, if you push it like this, you can play on these 2 waves without losing anything. You lose nothing. By the time you need to come back to this lane, by the time you do your thing, you'll be able to come back to the lane. But if you can only push it this far, for example, this wave?
Yeah, no, the top wave. Like, I mean, didn't you mean this top wave? Or what?
No. The wave before, sorry. You depush this wave first, as in like this wave before, you just get rid of it, so you don't have to worry about it, because these are the 2 waves that we're playing on, these new ones coming out of the base. So once your person on the
about the next top wave, like this one right there.
Fuck top. Now no one goes top.
Okay.
No one leaves this area. No one ever goes to the other side. And like, if this is a blue one actually. Okay, it's not the same. But if any time like support walks here and puts walls down, if the call is we play mid bot, we play these 2 waves mid bot, then everything is in this area. And the reason is that, I mean, because what we'll say next, like again, you guys pushing this Sivir back really far. Okay, now you see Nautilus on this ward, but that was not a guarantee. We actually don't know how many people they're putting to mid lane. So they could actually be putting more people here.
Are we supposed to just open 4-man mid here to help this squad? Because obviously as a Lulu, I can't actually step in even to own jungle to get any vision without someone to be there.
Yeah, so
do we just 4-man mid?
Yeah, so when we're playing 2 waves, pretty much, yeah. Probably we have Jinx, Lulu here. Then we have Vi very close, Syndra pretty close. And if there becomes a fight, like we're ready, and Abessa can TP, And then this is why I was saying like it's maybe more useful the higher up you go, because once this wave is crashed in and Wei is here, especially with Kindred here, but let's pretend we didn't know that. If Wei is on the top side, then whoever is in mid needs to give the wave. But I would expect in a lot of your games they won't, but they need to, because they will have less numbers. And even if they have even numbers, if they're behind in the game like they are, they lose even numbers as well. So we just need to make sure that basically what's going to happen, and the more you kind of rinse repeat this two waves thing, because it's the same every single time, like the more you'll get used to like being clear on like how much you need. So when it's Jinx Lulu, we're going to need for sure at least Vi, but probably Vi and Syndra, I would say, to play this. And it doesn't matter that Syndra's not collecting waves, because she pushed multiple waves here. So you push these waves up already, like the wave before. So we would catch this like as high as possible. And to be honest, like I would just leg it straight forward. Like you don't need to be where your wave is. You just need to clear their wave. Like if we can clear their wave here, it's better than if we clear it here. Like the quicker we clear it, the better. And we need to, again, whatever resources we need to do that, we need to allocate those resources. And a caveat, like I say, Atakan is a bit different. And this is why people are still... Actually, they're much better. But like for the first half a year, people were making so many tempo mistakes around Atakan because it's not quite that simple, because actually midwave is not better for Atakan. It's better for Dragon, it's better for Herald, it's better for Elder Dragon, it's better for Baron, but it's not better for Atakan because actually it's closer to the other side. But anyway, it's still a really, really good thing to bear in mind. You can control one half of the map as the team that wins the 5v5 by just playing this, and you can just play it over and over again. So this is perfect, actually. Sivir gets pushed back, and even though they probably know that you're probably on Atakan, they still can't run the quickest way because they're not 100% sure. So like you slow everyone down by doing it this way, and like
I mean, we do again end up griefing a little by playing it towards bot side, even though we win the fight, and letting them like get in to actually contest us.
Again, if this was an objective around this place, you would have just taken it fully for free with the tempo that you guys have created. Does anyone play chess?
Yes.
You know the term shouldering with your king?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's the same idea. Like we used to call it gating, but I think shouldering is much better. But basically, like in chess, when you've just got kings like starting to come into the game in the end game, oftentimes what looks like the most direct path. So here it's this. Actually, that's a bad example because this tower's still up. Let's pretend this tower is down. If you clear this wave and you run the quickest way to Atakan, you run this way. And then the enemy, let's say we didn't push them in that much, they clear it here and they run this way. And so even though this is your quickest route, which takes, I'm just going to make up some numbers, 5 seconds, this way takes 6 seconds for them. And so we only have a 1 second difference. Whereas the shouldering thing with the king is that like sometimes on a chessboard, this is a terrible drawing, sometimes on a chessboard with your king, if there's like 2 pawns over here, their king is here and your king is here, this is the quickest route. But sometimes the better thing to do is you go here first and then there, because that means that you block off the enemy king and he can't come this way. And actually the thing that's important is not how quickly you get there, it's how quickly, like how much tempo you have on the opponent. So if, again, this tower is dead and you guys go this way instead, then for you to get to the objective, I'm going to just put it at dragon. For you to get to the objective, rather than 5 seconds, it takes 6 seconds. But the enemy now has to come this way, and they can't even go in here because you control it. So they have to come all the way around here, and now it takes them like 10 seconds, and suddenly you've generated an extra like 4 seconds of time just by like pushing them out, shouldering them, like using your shoulders to barge them out of the way, which is kind of what you guys do here already, even though this tower isn't down. But the same thing can be applied here. So because we haven't actually done this objective, like this, we need a ward here, if possible. Then we can. But the other thing is that so the last step of this 2 waves is the point is because we have set up the map so that in this area we have more people than them because they've got someone clearing top wave. Again, Atakan is making this a bit complicated, a little bit not quite so clean, but I'm still going to say it because I think it's really important for like future games, is that the mindset now should be that if anyone is like in this area as these go forward, you don't need to think about it. Like we just go. So this Nautilus, he gets away with clearing one pink, but I don't think he should get this pink ward. Like I think we can just go on Nautilus. Like we know that we actually saw 2 of them on the top side. People are coming. You have to do that classic Ambessa thing of just like somehow being really high damage and also not dying. But I would just full send it on him here, like just because you know Jinx and Lulu are getting here first. Again, it's just like we can play knowing that the map is set up properly. We can play as if we're just any fight we take. Anyone steps up for either of these 2 waves, they're not allowed. Just like we had for all the objectives before on the single wave. I think the actual fight itself as well, exactly like you said, like where we pull it, about where we're going to play the fight. Like, can we just play a little bit more aggressively on this choke with Syndra stun and stuff like that? I think there's small details around it, but in general, I think the sequence was really good.
I mean, again, I think also it comes down to that we just don't know who's supposed to be frontlining, because once again, like, we don't have a supportive engage standing to deny the engage, so no one's just denying the path in and they get to contest.
Yeah.
Where if we had, like, Alistar Nautilus,
But again, like, they give you the fight. And even though maybe it's not exactly set up how you want, it's also definitely not set up how they want. Like, from their point of view, it's like they have to just run in. And so if you're winning the fight, that's also good. And that's really how, like, the kind of strategy of the game works, is that, let's say you've got a comp that wins front to back, which again is not quite so simple with here. Let's say if you had an Ornn or something, then yeah, sure, you have a comp that absolutely wins front to back. What you basically do is you say, okay, either you fight us front to back or you give us this wave. And so they have to give you the wave. And then you say, okay, either you fight us front to back or you give us this objective. And it's the same no matter what your comp is. Like, okay, either you let us, like we'll poke you on this wave, and eventually you have to give up the wave because some poke will land, or you're worried about poke landing, and then you go into this area that we control, and as you go in, size of the pen.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, of course.
What are the chokes to hold specifically for Arthurcon? Because obviously, let's say we're playing Drake here, then where we're seeing most of our control wards is obviously where we're like denied engage. But what is it for Arthurcon? It's the Tribush, obviously, but where on river?
That depends a bit more on comp, and that's like what comp you're doing, and that's why Atakan is a little bit more confusing. This little thing, I think, is mega important. So if you can control this space, I don't know what hotkey it is that changes the size of this, but I keep hitting it accidentally. If you can control this space and you can control this kind of area, I think this is really important. But to be honest, actually, I really don't hate at all like how you guys set up for this and how you guys position this, because you were rushing it because you also saw Kindred. Like, if you hadn't seen Kindred, I think you clear this wave and then start it, and then it's a little bit more like in the dark for them, and you have a little bit more space. But because we saw Kindred was clearing this wave as Atakan, this camp as Atakan spawned, absolutely just rush it. And then the main thing is you just have, like, we just get roughly in position. So carries roughly come to the back. Non-carries, even though they're not necessarily tanks, come a little bit more forward. And this already, like, this I think is actually okay. This kind of lines. Maybe it would be a little bit better if we didn't give them the space here and we threw stuff at them as they were coming in. But I think this is all fine. And yeah, I mean, Kindred doesn't ever even get in range, right? Because she could never.
Know if she can flash.
She could, like, flash smite it or flash ult or something. But that's less important. If she comes in and, okay, maybe they still can, but you kill them all, that's also like let's see how this fight goes. So if they'd have taken Atakan, but this happens, you get a Penta, perfect, and we pick up some towers, then, I mean, it's also not actually 50-50, right? Like, it should be harder for the person running in blind to steal it, but it might be 60-40, and you have to get used to taking 60-40 plays.
Yeah. I think Lulu had to position more downwards though. to go back?
Maybe, I don't know. I just feel like it's so rough because the Nautilus getting to step up here. Like, we're so lucky Nautilus has ult still on cooldown, and we're not timing that shit. We don't know it's not off cooldown. If Nautilus has ult when he engages it, he gets 4-man ult through a whole front line, seeing them allowing, and Syndra getting stunned, allowing them to literally just send it on Jinx.
I think go forward a bit.
First thing is we should fight this, by the way.
Yeah, definitely.
And then we zone them away here.
So like, Syndra should just stand like, okay, go a bit more forward, slowly.
Yeah,
and
maybe send
wait,
them
okay, now here. So Syndra, like if they try walking in, Syndra will stand more to the right. Jinx stands where Syndra stands, and Lulu stands to the left of Jinx, and everything is fine, no? Like he will not get 4-man ult.
But what is it that you're worried about from the way
I'm worried about Lulu is getting zoned out here, so like she might potentially not be able to ult carries.
Yeah, like I have to flash down here, afterwards here, yeah. Because we position towards right, then we kite downwards. So we see them coming, I have to end up just insta-flashing down to be in the fight.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing for me is that we give them so much, like, we can fight more for the space as they come in.
Yeah,
you know?
That's also what I'm thinking, that we...
Yeah, but the thing is, when we... Like, I think the reason we don't do that is because we're bursting it, no?
Yeah.
True.
If you're trying to rush it.
But the question is, do we have...
we know if we... Yeah, but the thing is, if we get it, we know we have like 100% team fight win because we get Jinx passive.
I guess, but like, look at this fight here. One ult from Nautilus here through Syndra and Jinx while I'm zoned is so bad for us. Like, even though it's a fight we should be definitely winning, that actually makes it playable for them, and we might just get fucking cooked. Which again seems like crazy that we start losing a winning spot so hard when it might just be easy to just deny them the fight by zoning off the free engage through choke points.
I think also like anytime you're like rushing an objective, there is going to be like variance, and there is going to be like shit can go wrong. And I do think it's the right thing to rush this because you see Kindred. Yeah, we see Kindred only for a tiny bit, but we see Kindred, and you guys ping it, so you did see it. I think what we would do if we didn't see Kindred, what we should do, like I say, is we should be clearing this wave like more aggressively. To be honest, we also probably could just kill this. Nautilus should be punished for being this far forward, and then we play on these two waves, and then we, to be honest, I wouldn't even be probably playing Atcan unless you see Kindred, which you did. So now as soon as we're like rushing it, then I think there's loads of different ways to have played this. I think holding this choke a little bit more aggressively is good, while they're not all here. But all bursting it and then just coming further down also works. The thing for me about the details of this is not that they don't matter. They can be like super, super important. But it's that we have to look at this kind of thing so many times and be very clear about it going in before we can start to like really learn from it, if that makes sense, or learn from it as best as possible, you know? So coming into a fight like this, thinking about what areas do we want to hold and what positioning do we want, I think is useful, like no matter whether it's Atcan or not, no matter whether Nautilus has ult up or not, like getting used to having those conversations I think is really good.
But just out of curiosity, so let's say we do end up saying, okay, let's just rush it. By that, should we then mean in this situation, for example, is it 5-man damage, or would it have been still be rushing it, but just sending Ambessa to hold that choke so they don't get to have vision there and can't step up for free with Nautilus, or sending Syndra that's like send an EQ to delay the rest? I know it's like slightly less damage, but is that still rushing it, or is it the call to just full burst it with everything we have here and then presumably get the smite before Kindred gets there?
I mean, it depends. I feel like if Ambessa walks up and like is there to block Nautilus hook, then I can throw my QE on Kindred while you guys are damaging it, and we will do more damage and have more time, if that makes sense.
So yeah, sure.
But it takes like Vi or Ambessa walking up. Like we want Ambessa, of course, because Vi needs to be able to smite and maybe burst it even. So like we need Ambessa walking up there to block Nautilus hook, and then Syndra can I can QE the others that are coming in. But with because he's the only one that can engage on me, you know?
Yeah. I still think for me the biggest problem here is not how we're positioning. It's the fact that like because of the way we played other things, we should know that like this Nautilus just has way too much space to play with for all this time. So all of here he should die, but also like here he literally walks in like 1v4, and if he just dies, then we can go back and do the Atakan anyway, as well.
Yeah, I agree.
I think if Nautilus played a little bit slower and therefore was safe, then I do think like everyone rushing it is good. But then they also would have had worse position. You know, like he gets more position because we give him the position, and therefore the fight turns a certain way. So there's so many like this because of this, because of this, because of this, because of this. The big thing is just like he like 1v4 pushes us out of this try push, and don't think he should. But still, I like the call. I like how quickly you guys respond to seeing Kindred on that side of the map. And like I said before, the getting that wave really deep pushed, and then playing really hard on the other side. That's like rinse repeat. You can do that for anything, and you should do that even if there's no objective up, because you can just do that and then you could just do that and then like even if there's no dragon up and there's no Atakan up, you just play 2 waves, and that's how you play for this tower. Because you play on the mid wave and you play on the bot wave, and then you try and like come at it from like multiple different directions while they're busy dealing with top lane. And once they pushed it back to here, you then get to reset, collect this, have like a sort of chill period, and then you set it up to do it again. And you just rinse, repeat the same thing again, and that's how you control the whole map with a team that doesn't actually want to play through all 3 lanes, because you don't have like 2 really safe side laners. Whereas if you have, I don't know, a Kali and Bessa, then you can actually play 3 lanes at once. It's obviously quite risky still to play 3 lanes at once always, but it's much more achievable than setting Syndra on a side lane for ages. And here, I mean, you guys are kind of doing the same thing, but this time you don't depush the 3rd wave, and that's actually like, it's not that you can never do that. It just means you need to be more pressured, or not more pressured. It means you have less time to do other things. So let's look at this sequence. So we crash this in, we reset. But Ambessa's clears 1 wave and resets. That's fine, I think. All good. Now the question is like, what are we going to do now? So for now, we can also, because there's nothing to get, there's 1 minute 50 still for the dragon. We can split back up. I think it's always good to just be around in case something happens. And now the question is like, what are we doing with this wave? Like in all three lanes. We get a pick on top. And because we're getting that pick, I would say we probably want to not give this wave. Is what all this is leading up to.
Are we also griefing by going red buff here and giving them the mid wave again? Because I feel like this was another chance to just play him through mid wave now. Renekton dead, I feel like we have complete prior topside.
But for now, you guys are here. You're sending 2 on that side. So actually this area, they have more people on. So in this area, like we have to be a little bit careful.
But now, for where what?
Depending on what Ambessa does.
I was thinking if Ambessa goes mid with me and Jinx, yeah.
Okay, you just send it as 3. Yeah, and Wei is on that side. I mean, on this like whole area of the map, you'll be outnumbered, but Wei is bot lane, like you say. For me, I would just say, I think it's fine to just pick up jungle while you're making a play, because even though you could play aggressively on this wave, I don't think you're going to get more value than even like the 2 camps, or even necessarily potentially 3 camps. And so it's okay to just be making that 1 play, because you're also using tools. So like, yeah, you have TP if shit starts to go like longer and longer and longer, but you don't have the ults. And so I think it's fine to just pick up this extra gold and then make sure you're there to collect the next waves. But if we're now playing this sequence a little bit safer, we need to pick up these camps. We need to pick up this wave, but we also need to pick up this last wave as well on this side. Because I think actually you can also go and collect this. It was easier if it's a tank, always. But still, you can. Because now, whatever you start trading on the other side, even though we got a kill, they're instantly trading back as well. And it's okay. It's just easier to play like the safer, slower way. So Wei should just be pushing this, I think.
Yep, fair enough. Makes sense.
But this is exactly the right idea for how we would play on these 2 waves. Like these next ones. Not these ones. So these 2 waves, exactly how we would want to play. We're a little bit ahead of them, and it's fine because someone's dead. So this is okay. Like we push in and control this. We need to make sure that this wave, we want to be collecting as high as possible. So like if the, and this is where hopefully you'll start to see like it does feel really bad for the ambassador to have not pushed the bot wave, because I'm going to say she should still not be pushing waves because here we're going in to control the jungle, but at the moment they're quite pressured because they have one wave to deal with, but they're not as pressured as they will be once they have both of these to deal with, and we can play on either one. We can play on this mid lane tower with this wave, or we can play on this other tower. So now we want to be going into this area again if we're playing on top, mid top. So we want to all play in this area, and better on this side is just less useful than being on this side. And then we want to collect the wave as high as possible. So like if it was all okay, let's pretend this wave was up here as well, if we want to, because then it makes it feel a bit better. Then like you have Ambessa and Syndra and Vi playing in this area, Lulu using this to get vision if we can, but then Jinx standing where Ambessa is to just clear this wave like in their face, because we have people here to support, and we have people ready to come kind of help. So let's see what actually happens, what they actually do.
That might have actually been grief, honestly, for me to still up there. I don't know. Because I could
Wait,
just
do you want to hear the thought process, by the way?
Yeah.
You want? Okay,
Yeah.
because like I'm pretty sure this was my call, because what's it called? We killed top, and then I was like, we can probably end on this wave because we're so much stronger, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So like my thought was just we have a whole cannon wave, and mid wave doesn't matter in my opinion, because if they go 4 mid, if we go 5 or 4 top, we just end the game.
Mm-hmm.
So like right here, I would just end the game, like, because if we are a bit faster with Vi, then we just kill the way, and then we can just run them down. But just in general, we can just get at least 1-2 towers anyways, because we just dive them and they can't play.
Yeah, I like it.
But it's only because we're really fed, you know. Like,
Yeah, and you've
if
also
we're
got a
not
kill
fed, then...
already.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
kill is like the main thing.
Oh,
you know?
you didn't? I thought you used Vial and Syndra.
Oh no,
Okay, so that's even
Vial
better.
was just on CD from last fight.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
even better. So then it's even more dangerous for someone here to step up.
Yeah.
Again, this I would be on this as quickly as possible. Like if we want to play on this wave, I want to be clearing this wave literally the millisecond we can, because it just, even if it just gives you an extra 1 second or something, or like what, we can even count it. But all these tiny little seconds matter, and it's just good habits to build up. Like always, if this is the wave we're playing on now, we're already killing the next wave. Because just 1, 2, it's only like 2 seconds, but like it is worth getting used to it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's fucked up.
Yeah, it was a bit miscommunication.
But this is the problem of when it becomes just the one wave. And again, I think it's still probably worth, and I think it's still a good call, again, because you have Vial and stuff, is that you will have to like full send it on people. Like this is a bit far when he has flash up, obviously. But
yeah,
you will
Yeah, I
have
think
to
it should
super
have
send
just
it,
been
because
done
otherwise he's going
earlier.
to clear it. Yeah.
If you go back though, like he was 100% dead. So that's why as well, like if you, like
Was it
after
dead?
the wave crashes, yeah, it was 100%
This
dead.
getting seen
If
is
you wave a bit.
it's a little bit
Oh,
annoying as well.
Yeah, like when he steps up, I don't know, like in 2 seconds or something. Like right here, he's dead.
Here he has to die.
Yeah.
I agree.
So if we kill him here, we just end the game insta. In my head at least, because we still have Ambessa ult, we get Syndra ult, we have 4 item Jinx, like we just kill them on the tower, they can't really play.
He
Can't do
shouldn't
anything.
step up this far.
If he
But again,
griefs,
if
he can
we're
probably still
making
die.
one thing that's really important, and everyone does it, including me, if we're making us do like retroactively the exact right thing, then we also need to make them do it as well. Like he shouldn't step up that far. Like this is mega brief.
Yeah.
Like, he should die for this for sure, but he also shouldn't step here.
Yeah,
But
but
I'll be honest, do you really think we can end? Because let's say that they didn't grief and they just stood here now. How do we end? Because they have kindred ults. So I don't think we can really
we
do
don't
anything.
end.
We
like,
only end
if he
they
doesn't step up,
as we're saying.
yeah, if he doesn't step up, we take tower, then we rotate mid, and then we play on the next wave, and we can just get mid tower.
And
Not this way, but the next one.
if we were a little bit quicker. Actually,
we could even play
this
on
is the
this
problem.
one.
It doesn't quite work the other way, right? Because this one is going to crash. If we could somehow push this a little slower, but It's tiny little details.
Yeah. I think it's just always worth for us because, like, as I said, if they go 4 or 5 mid, we win. If they defend top, we just go mid and we win. And we can't lose in this scenario in my head. Unless like Ambassador does some crazy shit and dives mid or some shit. Like.
And some shenanigans.
Not at that.
But this is exactly the same thing, right? Like, so even though like we didn't do all the like step by step of the 2 waves, this is still the same thing, and this is still the same reason as why it's so strong. Is that we lost more CS on Ambessa than we should maybe to set this up, but we do it quicker because we didn't have to waste time pushing this wave out, and so we do it like a wave quicker than we would have. But it's just it's exactly what you said. If they go top, we go mid, and if they go mid, we go top. And like if they defend the tower, like there's just so many. It's just impossible to deal with. Like there's just so many ways for them to lose the game once we just push both these waves and we make sure we're all on that side of the map. Because if we're winning even numbers and we're all somewhere, then we can just be mega aggressive and take anything and take any fight. Okay. We just killed them all anyway. Okay.
I mean, this shit shouldn't work, but it does.
OP. Yeah. But even if this didn't all happen, like you could just repeat the same things again. Like you're in such a good spot now. Like any dragons, any barons, you just do the same thing. If you can, you deep push the 3rd wave as far as possible. Sometimes, it'll probably start getting to the point where Ambessa can just kind of do it herself and just get it, even just like 1v2, get it as deep as possible. It could be that Ambessa just says, okay, I need you to hover me for 1 wave. So you hover me for this wave and I push it really deep. Or it could be that because Ambessa's behind, you also need Syndra or something. Or I mean, if you're that far behind as Ambessa, you probably just need to give up some gold. But probably you have like Vi hovering here, for example. You push this in, then you will reset, and you come out of base and you just spam ping these waves, and you say like, okay, no one's taking these ones. Both of these are ours. Just like before, it should have been the 1 wave was ours because that's the way we're going to contest the objective. If we're controlling like whole areas of the map, like this whole area or this whole area, then we do the exact same thing but on 2 waves instead.
Can we see that top play with full vision, by the way? Because I want to actually know how this shit happens from their
full
perspective.
Vision or their vision?
Well, full vision preferably, honestly, because I just want to be able to see what we see compared to also where they are here.
It's just 4v2.
Yeah, but that's like, this feels so crazy that they don't mention it. Guess you just flash on the and actually
good
manage
little ult,
something.
I'm just a
flash.
goat.
Yeah, really nice little ult and fast enough to juke the wave combo as well.
It just feels so crazy. If Kindred doesn't go for something crazy, they just walk 4 men at us with Nautilus ult and actually manage to hook Jinx. I think we just get fucked. But sure.
The fact that they don't go the same way. Renekton's obviously
Kid-
used ult as well.
Kindred denies himself time here, and Nautilus has hook 3, and he doesn't want to hook first, so he ults instead because he doesn't want to miss the hook. And he has hook again because of the CD. Yeah. Here, instead of just hooking, which I can't do shit about, he ults so I can get in front of the hook. Or if he hooks and you have to burn flash straight away, you're just fucking dead. But
I mean, he did ult at the same time, like the hook was coming up if you hover Nautilus.
But also, I think
Yeah,
he
but
can
yeah,
just
right.
ult and keep
Yeah, he
walking
can just
and
hook.
not hook. Right?
Yeah, he can. Yeah.
I mean, also
Oh,
if
yeah,
he
but if he
hooks, I
just hooks
dodge it,
straight
but
away.
like you won't hit here.
what do you mean? If he hooks, you cannot. If he's not bad, he'll hit the hook there. You'll have to flash it if you don't want to get hit, and then you don't have flash when the ult comes afterwards. It's only because he wastes ult right here, then wastes hook in me that you can flash away from Kindred Renekton perfectly in just 1-shot way.
And I would dodge it, but it doesn't matter.
Also, complete
But also
luck
he
that he
uses
gets fucking thing. But...
He doesn't use the fear thing, he uses the snare thing instead way.
Yeah, that's
Oh my
disgusting.
God.
But, I mean, if
I
you
mean,
use
he was gonna
EE,
miss the
I
fear
can't flash
anyways.
it, but...
Maybe.
Yeah, I
you
mean,
would just
EE
juke
it would be
whatever
okay.
you want for
The
anyway, so-
fear,
Not
I
as
mean,
cannot.
Qn has any balls.
But you
but
should
oh,
never,
fuck,
you
yeah.
should never start off with the fear thing. That's the thing.
I mean, to be honest, like, the game is really tough for them anyway, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's quite hard. And this is the thing with like, because their comp is also like, okay, we were saying before, like it would be easier to play if you had a tank, but also their comp is not exactly easy to play.
That's true. That's true.
Yep.
Maybe double hyper carry without an enchanter feels rough. But...
Yeah, or a like full proper front line, because also Nautilus is just
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
dying. Oh wow. Okay. Some graphics. Cool.
Amazing.
All right, we will call it there because I have to head off. But
Yep.
yeah, hopefully that was useful. I think, like I say, to this summary is like just as much as possible focusing on the waves. If you want to fight the objective, fight the wave first. See how that goes.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
That's
Thank
good.
Alright.
you very much.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Thank you for
no
your time.
problem. All right.
Good man.
Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, hopefully that was useful. I think it's really fun to see the difference between like really good players and then the pro players that we're used to seeing, because as with anything, maybe not quite as obvious as something like football, it's very easy, especially if you're good at the game, to look at a pro game and see like, I could do that better, or like I could do that or something like that. And there's so many little things that are going on that you aren't noticing, like how people reset or how aggressively they fight for waves and all those kind of things. And when people don't do it, you just give so much more space than you otherwise would. So thanks everyone for watching, and I'm not exactly sure when I'll be streaming next, but hope that was enjoyable, and I will see you soon.